Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. I cheated 9 tails at the beginning. I am the reincarnation of Sage of Six Paths. Chapter 91. Naruto and Fourth Raikage stood facing each other. Tsunade, Onoki, Minato, Kushina, Jiraiya, Killer Bee and others were watching the battle. 9 tails kid, as long as you can defeat me, I will no longer stop you and will allow you to go to the battlefield. Raikage turns on lightning-style chakra mode. Thunder and lightning overflowed all over the body, and the thunder attribute chakra surged, exuding an extremely terrifying aura. On the contrary, if you can't defeat me, just stay here and don't even think about leaving. Raikage frowned coldly. I would rather kill you than allow you to step onto the battlefield. Let's talk after the battle. Naruto smiled lightly, and was instantly surrounded by golden chakra, turning on the fairy fox mode. 6 black magatama appeared on his collar. 6 paths black patterns appeared on his face, and his pupils turned into cross eyes. For a moment, Naruto transformed into a little golden man, with golden light overflowing from his body, as if it was made of golden light. It is Kurama mode plus Sage mode, commonly known as Fairy Fox mode. This was the first time for everyone to see this pattern, and they couldn't help but look at Naruto with wide eyes and surprise. What a terrifying chakra aura! Is this the power of 9 tails? Tsunade exclaimed. This is the power of 9 tails. Great, Naruto can finally use the power of 9 tails. Kushina's eyes filled with excitement. Minato, your decision back then was right. No, this is not a simple 9 tails chakra. Minato was equally delighted. It's the perfect 9 tails Jinchuriki-tailed beast form. Not only that, I can also feel the surging natural energy, continuously gathering towards Naruto. This is probably the Sage mode in the perfect-tailed beast form. That's true. The natural energy within hundreds of meters around is indeed converging towards Naruto. Jiraiya looked like he had seen a ghost. Naruto, this guy, not only mastered the perfect-tailed beast transformation, but he can also use Sage mode at the same time. It's really amazing. Perfect-tailed beast transformation plus Sage mode. Kushina opened her mouth in shock, her beautiful eyes flashing with surprise. By 9 tails Jinchuriki really has a skill. 8 tails said of Killer Bee. He actually perfectly combines tailed beast transformation with natural energy, which is really amazing. So, Big Brother is no match. Idiot, Killer Bee asked in his heart. This guy is probably going to get slapped in the face today. 8 tails was a little gloating about his misfortune. Kid, no matter what mode you use, you can never beat me. I have the fastest speed in the ninja world. Raikage snorted coldly, and in a flash he was in front of Naruto. He raised his hand and struck a thunder level. Lateral Bolt of Pain is a terrifying move that gathers chakra in the hand and explodes it in an instant. Match the speed of the movie. This makes the Lateral Bolt of Pain incredibly powerful, enough to crush Sasuke's Susanoo. However, facing such a heavy blow, Naruto had no intention of evading, but instead raised his hand to grab it. How dare you take my attack with your bare hands, you are seeking death. Movie snorted coldly and slashed down fiercely with the knife. Snapped. Naruto grabbed Raikage's wrist. The terrifying power contained in Lateral Bolt of Pain also disappeared at this moment. How can it be? Raikage's face changed greatly. He actually used my Lateral Bolt of Pain with his bare hands, this guy's power. The movie stirred up a storm in his heart. His strength, combined with his speed, was enough to sweep everything away. As a result, Naruto caught him with his bare hands, which somewhat subverted Raikage's cognition. Lord Raikage, it's my turn to attack. Naruto raised the corner of his mouth, raised his knee at lightning speed, and hit Raikage hard in the abdomen. Boom _ Raikage groaned. The whole person seemed to be hit by a speeding locomotive, and flew out straight up. Naruto gained the upper hand and jumped in front of Raikage. He suddenly flew up and kicked Raikage on the chin. Raikage flew into the air and flew backwards. Naruto strangely appeared above Raikage again, whipped his leg in the air and hit Raikage in the abdomen. Boom! Raikage hit the ground hard, making a big hole in the ground, and his whole body was embedded in the big hole. Naruto did not continue to attack. He flashed and returned to the original place, dispersing the Fairy Fox mode. There was dead silence. Everyone looked at Raikage paralyzed in the pit, stunned and dumbfounded. No one expected that the battle between Naruto and Raikage would turn out like this. As the saying goes, you don't know if you don't compare, but you will be shocked if you compare. This sentence is perfect to describe the scene before me. Before this, Raikage is the shadow of Cloud Shinobi Village. He is the top master of Cloud Shinobi who is aloof and respected by everyone. Whereas Naruto, although his reputation has been at its peak in the past 2 years, he has been in the limelight and is called the #1 expert in Konoha by the outside world. It's a pity that no matter how famous the name is, it can't hide the fact that Naruto is a rising star. Therefore, the older generation of masters like Onoki and Raikage did not take Naruto to heart. Raikage has this kind of mentality, and he just made a suggestion to Naruto to decide the battlefield through fighting. Raikage is very confident in his own strength. He doesn't believe that a brat with no hair can defeat him. Everyone else pretty much thinks the same way. Result: it's really no wonder that once the two of them fight, they realize how big the gap is between them. Naruto only used 3 moves to easily defeat Raikage. Whether it was speed, strength, or nerve reflexes, Naruto easily crushed Raikage. The gap is so big that it feels like a battle between Jonin and Genin. I can't even see it. Of course the gap is huge. No matter how strong Raikage is, he is only a cage-level strongman after all, and he will never reach the peak of cage level if he is exhausted. Naruto in Fairy Fox mode is the peak super shadow at the level of Hashirama and Madara. He is a powerful being who can compete with 6 Paths Obito. How can he compare with Naruto? Speed. In the original work, Naruto in Nine Tails Chakra mode once avoided Raikage's full blow. Naruto is now Kurama mode plus Sage mode. Kurama mode itself is much stronger than Nine Tails Chakra mode. Coupled with the increase in Sage mode, the speed has increased dozens of times. How can Raikage compare with Naruto? That guy is so strong. Killer Bee was sweating on his forehead. My eldest brother was actually beaten by him. Is this Nine Tails Jinchuriki? Not only Nine Tails Jinchuriki, but also natural energy. The 2 phases are superimposed to make it so strong. Eight Tails sighed. Kurama's Jinchuriki is really powerful, he must be very proud of it. Hey, Eight Tails, what are you mumbling about? Are you talking bad about me behind my back? A voice suddenly sounded. Kurama. Eight Tails was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, "You are such an arrogant guy, you are actually subdued by a brat, this is not like you." What do you know? Nine Tails said disdainfully. Naruto's identity is beyond your imagination. You will know it when the time comes. Eight Tails wondered. Who is this kid? I won't tell you. Is this Naruto now? Tsunade looked at Naruto blankly. Naruto, this guy is too cruel. Jiraiya looked gloating. You don't even know how to respect the seniors and don't talk about martial ethics. This brat. Ono sighed softly. If you reach this point at a young age, given time, you will probably be another Senju Hashirama. This is really not good news for me, Rock Shinobi. I should try my best to have a good relationship with Konoha in the future. Raikage stood up with the help of Killer Bee with a frightened expression on his face. Kid, I lost. I won't interfere with wherever you want to go next, but you should pay attention to your own safety. If you lose, and the movie is not a loser. Don't get caught by Akatsuki. Don't worry, Raikage-sama. Naruto smiled and said, I'm still young, my goal is to live 100 years like Master Tsuchikage. As long as you know. Raikage waved his hand and said angrily, get out of here. Having just lost face in front of so many people, Raikage didn't want to see Naruto for a moment. How about this? Onoki said. Bad boy, you and Princess Tsunade are watching here, I will accompany Naruto to the battlefield. The former cages on the 4th battlefield are difficult to deal with. With my help, your chances of winning will be greater. I have no opinion. Raikage agreed. Good. Onoki nodded and flew towards Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, I'll go with you. It's an honor for me to fight alongside Tsuchikage-sama. Naruto smiled. You brat, you can talk better than a bad boy. Onoki said with a smile. Naruto greeted Minato, Kushina and others, and then took Wang Ying to the 4th battlefield. Naruto left the Flying Thunder God spell on Gaara beforehand and was in front of Gaara the next second. Naruto, Lord Tsuchikage. Seeing the sudden appearance of Naruto and Onoki, Gaara was shocked. Naruto, why are you here? Naruto, how did you come? Shikamaru, Tamari and other members of the 4th unit also gathered around, with joy and confusion in their eyes. The enemies here in your 4th unit are very powerful, and the headquarters sent us to support you. Naruto explained briefly and said, Gaara, how is the situation here? My father has just been sealed, but we are helpless with the remaining 3 shadows. They are very difficult to deal with. Gaara sighed. Fortunately, with the dozen or so Uchiha tribesmen you brought out from the dirt at the front, our losses were not that heavy. The dozens of masters that Naruto came out of this time were evenly distributed to various troops. The 4th unit was divided into about a dozen people, including Uchiha Fugaku, the leader of the Uchiha clan. I see. Naruto nodded. Leave the 3rd Raikage and 2nd Mizukage to me, Lord Tsuchikage, and leave the 2nd Tsuchikage to you. Give it to me. Onoki agreed. He came here mainly to deal with his teacher Wu. I'm going. Naruto's figure flashed towards the 3rd generation movie monster. At this moment, Uchiha Fugaku is leading a dozen Uchiha tribesmen in a fierce battle with 3rd Raikage. 3rd Raikage turns on the lightning-style chakra mode, and is wrapped in thunder attribute chakra. His unique skill, Hell Thrust, 4 pen hands, rampaged through everyone in Baugia. Every blow can easily tear the bodies of the Uchiha tribesmen and break them into powder. But because they are made of filthy earth, the Uchiha tribe can always repair themselves quickly and continue to fight the 3rd Raikage. You all get out of the way. Naruto appeared in front of the Uchiha clan. Naruto-kun! Exclamation mark! Fugaku and others stopped attacking and looked at Naruto. The enemy is very powerful, and there is no way to waste it like this. It's up to me to deal with him. Naruto turned on the fairy fox mode, and the chakra in his hand gathered crazily, and soon formed a spiral shuriken. This spiral shuriken is ridiculously large, with a diameter of more than dozens of meters, like a small planet. The oversized spiral shuriken rotated at high speed, cutting the air and making a frightening tearing sound. Even from a distance, Uchiha Fugaku and others could feel the terrifying cutting power contained in the Rasenshuriken. What ninjutsu is this? Fugaku and others were surprised. Sage Art Wind-style super-large jade spiral shuriken. Naruto appeared in front of 3rd Raikage, with the super-large jade spiral shuriken in his hand, and pressed it hard on 3rd Raikage. Buzz buzz. The spiral shuriken pushed against Raikage and flew ahead at a terrifying speed, drawing a long ravine on the ground. The spiral shuriken exploded, forming a terrifying storm tornado Uzumaki, which enveloped the surrounding area for hundreds of meters. Rumble. The terrifying shock wave carried the yellow sand and hit everyone's faces, causing burning pain in their cheeks. The coalition ninjas bared their teeth, but stared at the center of the explosion, with disbelief flashing in their eyes. Is this still a ninjutsu? It's too scary. Fortunately it's far away, otherwise if it were enveloped, it would be blown to pieces. For a long time, the explosion stopped and the smoke dispersed. A large pit with a diameter of several hundred meters and a depth of hundreds of meters appeared before everyone's eyes. 3rd Raikage lay at the bottom of the pit. S body was riddled with holes, as if it had been cut by countless blades. Looking at the big pit and the 3rd Raikage at the bottom of the pit, the coalition ninjas couldn't help but gasp. This is the strength of Uzumaki Naruto. Uchiha Fugaku and the Uchiha tribesmen behind him stared blankly at the pit and swallowed their saliva. Suigetsu told them before that Naruto was the #1 master in Konoha, but they actually disagreed. After all, Naruto is too young. How strong can an innocent boy be? On the way here, some Uchiha tribe members even joke that Konoha is really inferior to every generation now, and even 10 little brats can be called the top masters of Konoha. Some Uchiha people also said that people like Naruto would be nothing if they were born in their time. But now, the Uchiha people suddenly realized how wrong they were. Sealing class. Naruto waved. Here. The 2 young girls from Sand Shinobi quickly agreed, jumped into the pit, and sealed the 3rd Raikage. Hit by the Rasen Shuriken just now, 3rd Raikage was riddled with holes and lay paralyzed on the ground unable to move. It turns out, the so-called strongest shield is only a relative term. If you encounter an attack beyond the endurance range, the strongest shield will still not be able to withstand it. Naruto, well done. Gaara, Tamari and others gathered around. You guy, I really belong to you. Shikamaru breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. the opponent we have been unable to defeat was actually defeated by you with one move. Naruto, harem. The other ninjas looked at Naruto with admiration, and the young girls at Sand Shinobi became even more infatuated. Naruto smiled and waved his hand, looked at second Mizukage, and said, "He is the only one left now." Yes, Gaara nodded. Shikamaru, Tamari and others also looked at second Mizukage. "Boy, you are awesome." Second Mizukage did not have the playful smile as before, and his face became serious. "I didn't expect that in this era, there would be a ninja as powerful as you. It's really surprising." Second Mizukage, "I'll deal with you." Naruto smiled slightly and his eyes turned into Mangekyo. Boom! The flaming orange-red chakra rises up and quickly condenses into bones, meridians, and flesh. The Karasu Tengu armor, Yata mirror, and 10-fist sword appeared one after another, forming Susanoo's third form. This is Susanoo. Uchiha Fugaku and others stared at the Susanoo above Naruto's head in shock. Is this the third power hidden by Mangekyo Sharingan, Susanoo? Oh my god, I heard from my grandpa that Uchiha Madara gained this ability after turning on Mangekyo. I didn't expect it to be true. Is this Susanoo, the power of God that can only be mastered by opening the Mangekyo Sharingan? It's so shocking. I didn't expect that I would be able to see Susanoo after being exposed. Even if I die, it's worth it. More than a dozen Uchiha tribesmen stared at Susanoo, their eyes completely shocked and replaced by enthusiasm. Susanoo is the ultimate and most coveted power among the Uchiha clan. Unfortunately, since the death of Uchiha Madara, this divine power has completely disappeared and has become a legend. Therefore, many Uchiha people have grown up hearing stories about Susanoo but have never seen one. Today, I finally saw it. Kid, are you from the Uchiha clan? Second Mizukage stared at Naruto solemnly. No, Naruto wields the 10-fist sword, earning 102nd Mizukage. This attack has no effect on me. Second Mizukage snorted softly, and his body disappeared, as if it had never appeared. This is the ability of his summoning mon. It can create extremely large mirages. Use mirages to confuse the enemy so that they cannot discover the true location of second Mizukage. Naruto didn't stop at all and continued to slash into the air. As if something had been struck in the void, a figure quietly appeared. It was second Mizukage. Kid, how could that happen? Second Mizukage looked at the 10-fist sword that penetrated his abdomen with a look of astonishment in his eyes. Senior, in front of Mangekyo Sharingan, this method of yours is just a trick. Naruto explained casually, pulled out the soul of second Mizukage, and sealed it into the 10-fist sword. Another one solved. So amazing. It's really amazing. Long live. Long live. The coalition ninjas were excited and cheered loudly. The four shadows joined forces and made them suffer a lot before. As a result, Naruto took action and killed the third Raikage and the second Mizukage in 2 or 3 strokes. It was really amazing. I remember Sasuke seemed to be the same age as Naruto. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Naruto and thought of his youngest son. I wonder how Sasuke is doing now. I didn't expect Uzumaki Naruto to have grown to this point. He is indeed a genius valued by Lord Orochimaru. In a certain underground mine, Kabuto sensed the disappearance of the third Raikage and the second Mizukage one after another, and couldn't help but push up his glasses. Forget it. It's time for him to appear. He is the ace I have prepared for this war. Kabuto laughed. I believe that as long as he appears, he should be able to defeat Naruto, right? No, it's not that it should be. It must be possible. After all, he is the second person in the world besides Sage of Six Paths to open Rinnegan. The 4th Army battlefield, second Tsuchikage Mew, who was fighting with Onoki, suddenly disappeared in midair and disappeared. Where's Mr. Wu? Onoki turned around and looked around, but there was no trace of Wu. Do not know why. A bad feeling suddenly arose in Onoki's heart, as if some great terror was about to come. Suddenly, Anamu felt palpitations in his heart. He quickly turned around and saw 2 people standing on a mound in the distance. One person's body was covered with bandages, with only his eyes exposed, like a mummy. It's Mr. Wu. The other person was wearing a tight-fitting black combat uniform with red laminated armor on the outside. The long hair reaches the waist, and one eye is exposed, which is blood red. It is the 3 Tomo Sharingan. Uchiha Madara. Onoki was shaken all over and froze on the spot, but his heart was filled with turmoil. Madara is resurrected, Onoki whispered. The name Uchiha Madara has an extraordinary weight in Onoki's heart. It was Uchiha Madara back then who made Onoki lose himself through powerful power. Onoki's fear of Madara is deep in his bones. Now seeing Madara resurrected, Onoki's heart trembled. Alert! Everyone be alert! Madara is resurrected. Onoki hurriedly flew towards the coalition forces, shouting loudly as he flew, "Everyone, be on alert! Madara is resurrected. One stone stirs up 1,000 waves." Onoki's words immediately caused a huge sensation within the coalition forces, and the faces of the ninjas suddenly changed. A person's name, the shadow of a tree. Uchiha Madara. He is a character from the same period as first Hokage. When such a person appears in front of you, who can take it lightly? Among the coalition ninjas, the most shocking one is Uchiha Fugaku and a dozen other Uchiha tribesmen. Madara. It's really Madara. He was actually summoned too. It's over. It's completely over now. We can't be Madara's match. As members of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Fugaku and others truly understand the power of Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara not only possesses the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, but also masters the third power contained in Mangekyo Sharingan, Susanoo. Back then, Uchiha Madara relied on Susanoo to conquer the troubled times and was unrivaled. With such a person right in front of us, how can everyone in the Uchiha clan not be afraid? To know, the Uchiha clan betrayed Madara, and Madara held a grudge and completely broke away from the Uchiha clan. So, in a sense, the Uchiha clan and Madara have a deep grudge. Clan leader, what should we do now? The Uchiha tribe all looked at Uchiha Fugaku. Fugaku's face was heavy and he stared at Madara for a long time before saying, "Take a step and take a look." Fugaku had no intention of defeating Madara. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Madara. You finally showed up. Naruto looked at Uchiha Madara, the corners of his mouth raised slightly. In the entire ninja world, there are not many people Naruto is really willing to fight, and Uchiha Dance King is the one he wants to fight the most. Allied Forces Headquarters. What? Uchiha Madara is resurrected. Reikage and Tsunade were shocked when they got the news. Naruto actually got it right. Tsunade sat slumped in the chair. Madara, you won't stop even if you die, what should you do now? Reikage was silent and said slowly. Let's wait and see what happens. If the coalition forces are really unable to compete, then we will be the only ones to take action. All right. The other side. Madara crossed her arms and stood on the sand dune, looking down at the ninja coalition with an indifferent expression. The word, nin, means forehead protector, but the costumes are different from the 5 major countries. Is this an alliance of the 5 major ninja villages? The war has begun. Second Tsuchikage replied calmly. After all, it was that guy who did it. He must have had some considerations. I guess the plan didn't go smoothly. Madara was a little unhappy. Her eyes suddenly fell on Uchiha Fugaku and others, and she said in surprise. The Uchiha clan. No, they are all impure world reincarnation. What is going on? In the 7th year after your death, that is, the 58th year of Konoha, the Uchiha clan was exterminated because of a coup. No explanation. In this war, Uzumaki Naruto exposed some of Uchiha's elites. Uchiha is really completely depraved. He even reduced himself to the point where he helped others fight when his clan was being exterminated. There was disdain in Madara's voice, and then she changed the topic. However, I can be resurrected in this way. Who is the caster of impure world reincarnation? Have no idea. No answer. Suddenly, his eyes widened, his consciousness was suppressed by Kabuto, and Kabuto's consciousness occupied his body. Uchiha Madara Senpai. Nice to meet you, I am Kabuto, the caster of impure world reincarnation. Kabuto smiled and said, he is also a helper of the plan. Madara glanced at Wu and felt a little unhappy. You actually talked to me through impure world reincarnation. It's so dark. Madara Senpai, your impure world reincarnation was specially prepared for you. Your power now is even better than in your prime. Kabuto smiled. Madara glanced at Kabuto sideways, as if looking at a clown, with mockery on her face. Have you seen me in my prime? No. Kabuto smiled and said. So, please let me see it. Uchiha's legendary power. Can Madara jumped down the hill. The blood-red Sharingan stared coldly at the densely packed and overwhelming ninja coalition. Madara's eyes not only showed no trace of panic, but also mockery, as if she were looking at countless ants. The next second, he ran towards the coalition forces, and as he continued to advance, his speed became faster and faster. At this time, a dark cloud came from the sky, covering the sun and plunging the earth into shadow. Everyone looked at the speeding Uchiha Madara, sweating on their foreheads and swallowing hard. Too strong. Even if they haven't fought yet, Madara's aura alone makes everyone feel suffocated. In this situation, let alone fighting, the ninjas had no courage to fight and no fighting spirit at all. Attention everyone. Onoki looked solemn and loudly reminded the coalition forces, Madara is coming, don't look directly into his eyes. Old man Tsuchikage, this enemy is not something you can fight against. You should retreat quickly, Naruto said. You want to fight Madara alone? Absolutely not. Onoki directly refused. Madara is more powerful than you imagine, and you can't fight it alone. Naruto wanted to persuade again, but Gaara shouted, Naruto, this is war. Everyone's war. At this time, you have to learn to work as a team instead of showing off your personal heroism. Quote, quote. Naruto suddenly felt helpless, spread his hands, and said nothing more. Okay. It's up to you. That's how people are, they won't look back until they break through the wall. It's better to wait until you break your head before taking action. Kill. Everyone come together. Kill. The coalition ninjas shouted wildly, cheered each other up, temporarily suppressed the fear in their hearts, and roared towards Uchiha Madara. Boom. The two sides crashed into each other. The result was that he was completely beaten. Madara rushed headlong into the coalition forces, turning people upside down wherever she passed, and someone died on the spot as she waved her hand. Not only did Madara easily dodge the kunai and explosive talismans that were shot, she actually caught them and returned them to the coalition forces. The knife in the hand of the coalition ninja became his knife, and he could cut a large area if he grabbed it casually. Madara looked like a red-armored demon god and a killing machine, moving around in the coalition army, fighting in and out, and no one could compete with it. However, his figure is very beautiful, moving around like a dancer, which is very pleasing to the eye. It's like, he is not killing people, but performing a moving dance, a beautiful art. The Uchiha Dance King is well deserved. Naruto sighed and looked at Gaara and Onoki. For a strong person like Madara, the number of people is meaningless. Continue fighting. It will only increase the number of casualties. Order everyone to withdraw from the battlefield. After Naruto said that, he flashed towards Madara. Wind-style katakana middle dot great side Itachi technique. The storm formed by the magic bombarded Madara and directly blew Madara out of the battlefield. Madara flew dozens of meters away before landing on the ground. His eyes fell on Naruto. Do you also think about fog? After saying that, Madara formed a seal with her hands and her chest swelled high, fire-style extinguish with great fire. Flames spurted out from Madara's mouth, turning into a sea of fire with a diameter of hundreds of meters, and swept toward Naruto. Water-style water barrier. Naruto clapped his hands together, opened his mouth and spurted out a stream of water. In an instant, water waves hundreds of meters high formed, roaring and rushing towards the flames. Boom! The fire wave and the water wave collided together, evaporating a large amount of white mist, covering the entire battlefield under the action of the shock wave. The waves of water and fire fought against each other, then quietly dissipated after a moment, disappearing into the invisible. Madara couldn't help but look at Naruto again, with slight surprise in her eyes. You can actually activate a water barrier of this scale. Uchiha Madara. Naruto looked at Madara with a smile. I have been waiting for this day for a long time, I hope you won't let me down. I was provoked by a kid. Madara sneered slightly and jumped towards Naruto. His speed was very fast, like a stream of red light, he reached Naruto in an instant. Naruto knew very well that in terms of physical skills alone, he was still no match for Madara, so he decisively turned on Sage Mode. In Sage Mode, Naruto's physical fitness skyrocketed, and his awareness of his surroundings also increased crazily. Naruto did not retreat but advanced, fighting fiercely with Madara. Boom boom boom. The two people were like two lightning bolts, colliding crazily on the yellow sand battlefield and jumping back and forth. The speed was so fast that it became an afterimage, so that the coalition ninjas couldn't see their movements clearly. All you can hear is the constant sound of collisions, sandpits and footprints. Is that human being? The speed is too fast. Monsters. They are all monsters. The coalition ninjas were stunned, their mouths were dry, and their hearts were greatly shocked. Especially Uchiha Fugaku and other Uchiha clan, their mouths were so wide open that they didn't close them for a long time. That's Madara, the legendary Uchiha Madara. Is this guy on par with Madara? Is he really only 17? Monster. What a monster. The collision between Naruto and Madara lasted for more than 5 minutes, and the group ended when Madara was kicked away. Madara retreated more than 10 meters away and landed firmly on the ground. A pair of Sharingan stared directly at Naruto. No wonder your speed, strength, and neurological reactions are so strong. It turns out to be Sage Mode. In a duel between masters, 1 or 2 moves can determine the opponent's strength, let alone a ceiling-level master like Madara. Madara could feel that Naruto's physical skills, combat experience, coping strategies, etc. were very immature. But Naruto's speed, strength, neurological reactions, perception, and prediction were no less than his own. Even stronger. As a result, in the physical duel just now, he did not have any upper hand, and was even slightly inferior. Madara was a little surprised, but after seeing Naruto's eyes and the eyeshadow under his eye circles, she understood everything. Sage Mode. I didn't expect that since Hashirama, there are still people who have mastered Sage Mode. Kid, it seems that you are a good opponent. You should be able to bring me some fun, right? Madara raised the corners of her mouth slightly, and flaming blue chakra erupted from her body, condensing into a blue giant. This blue giant has 4 arms, and each hand holds a long sword standing tall. Susanoo Phase 3. Susanoo. Madara, this guy is serious. Uchiha Fugaku. The expressions of the Uchiha clan members changed greatly. Susanoo is Madara's most powerful force. He is using Susanoo now, which shows that he is serious. Susanoo. Onoki's eyes twitched a few times, and he shouted loudly, "Retreat!" Everyone withdraws from the battlefield immediately. The coalition ninjas were already scared out of their wits. They fled in panic after hearing this and jumped off the floor in the distance. Kid, your Sage Mode can block my physical skills, can it block this one? Madara crossed her arms and stood on Susanoo's head, looking down at Naruto with mockery in her eyes. It's just Susanoo, who hasn't? Naruto smiled, his eyes turned into eternal Mangekyo, purple chakra surged on his body, and quickly condensed into a giant valence. This purple giant is no smaller than Madara's blue giant. He holds a sword in his left hand and a bow in his right hand. Madara's expression finally changed. He stared at Naruto's Susanoo, somewhat shocked. You also activated Mangekyo Sharingan. He immediately looked into Naruto's eyes. No. This is not an ordinary Mangekyo, it's a Naoba Mangekyo. I didn't expect that someone from the Uchiha clan would actually activate Naoba Mangekyo. No. Madara's eyes fell on Naruto's hair again, yellow hair. Are you not from the Uchiha clan? No, if you're not from the Uchiha clan, you can't have a Sharingan. What's going on with you? Master Madara was completely confused. Not to mention Master Madara, Kabuto was also confused at this time. When he first discovered that Naruto had Mangekyo, Naruto's Susanoo was green. Just now in Naruto vs Second Mizukage, Susanoo was orange-red, and now it's purple. 3 Susanoo, 3 colors, 3 different forms, why is this? Kabuto was a little confused. Kid, what happened to your Mangekyo? Madara stood on Susan's head and stared at Naruto indifferently. You want to know? If you want to know, beat me and I will tell you. Naruto smiled. What an arrogant guy. Madara snorted, controlled Susanoo, waved the long sword in her hand, and slashed at Naruto. Well done. Naruto swung the flame control sword and faced him. Boom. The long swords collided, causing an earth-shattering roar. The shock wave swept across and formed a violent wind wave, flying the coalition ninjas away. Boom boom boom. 2 giants, 1 blue and 1 purple, collided wildly. 1 sword for you, 1 sword for me. You attack, I advance. The two sides refused to give in to each other and the fight was inextricable. The two gradually developed a real fire. Susanoo further grew in size, and finally completely transformed into a complete body. In its full form, Susanoo is larger than a mountain, taking on the majestic posture of a warrior god. The armor on the back transforms into wings and is equipped with two swords, which can easily split a mountain with one strike. Looking at the two towering giants, the coalition ninjas were so frightened that they ran as far as they could. They didn't stop to catch their breath until they ran to a safe area. Some of the timid ones even collapsed on the ground. It's like a fight between gods. I feel like I shouldn't be here. Thankfully we ran fast, otherwise we wouldn't know how we died. It would be really scary. Is this the legendary power of the Uchiha clan? It's too strong. It's really too strong. Forget about Uchiha Madara, the key is Uzumaki Naruto, his use of Sharingan is actually so powerful. A foreigner actually uses the power of our Uchiha clan to this extent. Uchiha Fugaku and others looked at the two fighting giants with complex expressions and could not hide their shock. As members of the Uchiha tribe with pure blood, they have not even opened Mangekyo. Naruto is good, not only opened the eternal Mangekyo, but also used Susanoo to this extent. This makes everyone in Uchiha very envious, jealous, unwilling, shocked, and unbelievable. Yusaka Magatama. Madara stretched out her hand, and Susanoo launched multiple tomo, which shot towards Naruto like cannonballs. Inferno-style flame control. Naruto controls Susanoo, bends the bow and shoots an arrow, shoots out several black flame arrows, and collides with Yusaka's Magatama. Boom! The black flame arrow collided with Yusaka's Magatama, causing an earth-shattering explosion. Immediately afterwards, the two Susanoos hit each other again. I didn't expect that in this era, someone would develop Susanoo to this extent. Madara said while fighting. I admit that I underestimate you a little, you are not an ordinary ninja. Madara-senpai is also very powerful. Boom boom boom, _W. The two fought from south to north, and from west to east. The earth was torn apart, the sand dunes were destroyed, the ground was trampled into large craters one after another, and the terrain completely changed. The two fought fiercely for a long time, but in the end they were evenly matched, and neither could do anything to the other. Mangekyo Sharingan has a very strong characteristic. The more you use it, the stronger Mangekyo's eye power becomes. Unfortunately, ordinary Mangekyo has too many side effects. The more you use it, the more likely you are to become blind. Therefore, although the pupil power is getting stronger and stronger, it is getting closer and closer to blindness, and sooner or later, it will become blind. Eternal Mangekyo does not have this shortcoming, so the more you use it, the stronger your eye power becomes. As he continued to fight, Naruto's eye power became stronger and stronger, and his control over Susanoo became more and more proficient. The more Naruto beat, the more excited he became, and the more he beat, the more enjoyable he became. Madara is also very happy. Since Hashirama's death, he has not encountered such a strong opponent. In particular, Naruto, like him, also possesses the eternal Mangekyo and can also use Susanoo. This kind of opponent is unprecedented. Madara was also very excited. After fighting fiercely for a long time, the two finally had enough fun and stopped attacking at the same time, looking at each other from a distance. Kid, since Hashirama's death, you are the first opponent to reach our level. Madara crossed her arms and looked at Naruto with admiration. I, Madara, would like to call you the strongest ninja of this era. Madara-senpai, you are not bad either. Naruto let out a long breath. Kid, you succeeded in pleasing me. Madara looked at Naruto. To show my respect for you, I will use tens of thousands of dollars next. Madara said, forming a seal with his hands, and his Susanoo also put away her long sword and made a gesture of sealing. Tengai Shinsei. The sky suddenly became dark, as if there were dark clouds blocking the sun, because it was extremely dark. Naruto looked up and saw a giant meteorite appearing in the sky, crashing into the ground at an extremely fast speed. This is indeed the trick. Naruto took a breath. The other side, the coalition ninjas also discovered something unusual in the sky. When they saw the meteorite, their expressions suddenly changed. Chai. Meteorite, where did the meteorite come from? Okay, it seems to have been summoned by Madara. Is this also a ninjutsu? It's over. We're dead. The coalition ninjas were completely desperate, and Gaara and Onoki also had a look of horror on their faces. Such a large meteorite fell from such a high place, and the impact force it carried was beyond imagination. The place where they are will definitely be destroyed into ruins, and the fourth unit will be completely wiped out. Madara, this fool. He wants to kill us all. Gaara roared angrily. Kid, how about my move? Madara crossed her arms and looked at herself with a teasing look on her face. I regret that I am not a body of filthy soil. A very powerful trick. Naruto looked at the meteorite and smiled lightly, but if you want to kill me just because of this, you are too naive. Naruto controlled Susanoo to rise into the sky and fly straight towards the meteorite falling at high speed. Madara raised her eyebrows slightly. What does this guy want to do? Onoki, Gaara, and the ninjas of the fourth unit also looked at Naruto. Naruto was very fast and soon flew to the meteorite and began to form seals with his hands. Sage Art Crystal Style Crystal Transformation. Boom. Susanoo's body erupted with an extremely dazzling bright red light, which suddenly enveloped the entire meteorite. In an instant, the huge meteorite was directly transformed into crystal and turned into a crystal meteorite. Break it for me. Susanoo punched out. With a click, the crystal meteorite shattered into pieces and turned into palm-sized crystal slag. Countless bright red crystals fall down, forming a dense rain of crystals, which is spectacular. Is this crystal style? Madara's eyes narrowed. This kid actually mastered this kind of blood inheritance limit. It's not easy. Of course he is not simple. Kabuto controlled Wu to appear next to Madara and said, his name is Uzumaki Naruto, the #1 genius in Konoha. According to the intelligence I collected, he not only developed crystal style, but also wood style, boil style, lava style, ice release. Including Sharingan, Uzumaki Naruto has mastered 6 types of blood succession limits by himself. This is quite explosive in the entire history of ninjas. Madara didn't speak for a long time, and she was obviously shocked. After a while, she said, how many days has he been? Not yet 17 years old. Kabuto replied with a smile. Having such strength at the age of 17, even Hashirama and I can't compare to him at his age. Madara said indifferently, but having said that, ninjas don't look at age, only strength. Now he is still young. Madara was a little unhappy. In his heart, only he and Hashirama are the most outstanding geniuses in the history of ninjas. They are not worthy of anyone carrying their shoes. Naruto's talent is so strong, which makes Madara very unhappy, feeling that he is being compared to a junior. Senior Madara, you just attacked, now it's my turn to attack. Naruto looked at Madara and suddenly closed Mangekyo, and the huge Susanoo fell apart. Immediately afterwards, golden chakra rose from Naruto's body and condensed into a giant 9 tails. It's the transformation into a tailed beast. Tailed beast transformation is one of the greatest mysteries that perfect Jinchuriki can use, transforming into a tailed beast form. After transforming into a tailed beast, Jinchuriki is able to use the tailed beast's endless chakra and power. At the same time, it can also ensure absolute rationality and be able to fight reasonably and accurately. This is 9 tails. Madara's eyes narrowed. I forgot to tell you, he is the 9 tails human calendar. Kabuto's voice sounded, but there was a hint of indescribable shock in his tone. I just didn't expect that Naruto Uzumaki can perfectly control the 9 tails chakra. Perfect Jinchuriki. Madara is also a little unbelievable. 9 tails is the strongest existence among the 9-tailed beasts. This kid named Uzumaki Naruto can actually subdue 9 tails and make 9 tails cooperate with him. Madara wanted to say that this was something he couldn't do back then. Of course, Madara didn't even bother to do it. In Madara's eyes, 9 tails is a beast, how can he be qualified to be on an equal footing with him? To use 9 tails' huge chakra, Uchiha Madara only needs to force 9 tails to surrender. Reconcile. Become friends. It's simply the most ridiculous thing in the world. Naruto's changes didn't stop there. After transforming into a tailed beast, he turned on Mangekyo and drew Susanoo. Pieces of purple armor immediately appeared on 9 tails' body, covering the body surface and covering the golden chakra. Majestic Susanoo. To actually use Susanoo as armor and wear it on 9 tails, this is really Kabuto stared straight at Naruto, unable to hide the shock in his eyes. Uzumaki Naruto is indeed a genius. He surprises people every time. I don't know how to evaluate him. This is awe-inspiring. Susanoo. Madara also had surprise in her eyes. I did this before when I was fighting Hashirama. However, this kid can think of combining Susanoo with the tailed beast, which is really amazing. Uzumaki Naruto. Kabuto licked his lips, a flash of greed flashed in his eyes. He inherited Orochimaru-sama's legacy and was originally interested in Uchiha Sasuke's body. He wants Sasuke, but now, Kabuto suddenly discovered that Naruto's body was attractive to him. I want Uzumaki Naruto. Kabuto changed his mind and targeted Naruto. Also shocked were Gaara, Onoki, the coalition ninjas, and the Uchiha clan. Everyone. They stared blankly at the giant purple nine tails, feeling their mouths were dry and their whole bodies were trembling. I actually put Susanoo on nine tails. Gaara murmured to himself. Is this Naruto's true power? The gap between me and him is too big. There's still half a Shukaku inside him. Thanks to Naruto's preaching, Gaara and Shukaku have gradually reached reconciliation over the past 2 years. Gaara is also barely able to transform into a tailed beast, and the strength of the sun body is much stronger than before. But compared with Naruto, Gaara found that it was not good enough. Madara-senpai, I'm going to attack. Naruto greeted. Kurama, shoot a tailed beast bomb first, and say hello to Madara. Okay. Nine Tails opened its bloody mouth, and black and blue chakra spewed out from the mouth, quickly condensing into a tailed beast bomb. I'll inject natural energy into it. Naruto manipulates natural energy and continuously injects tailed beast bomb. For a moment, the black-tailed beast bomb expanded crazily, reaching hundreds of meters in the blink of an eye. Such a terrifying chakra aggregate. Is that human being? Oh my god. If this hit me, wouldn't it be blown to pieces? We are not in the same dimension as him at all. The allied ninjas, especially the Uchiha clan, were all stunned and as if they were dreaming. When have they ever seen a terrorist attack like this? Sage Art Tailed Beast Bomb. Nine Tails opened its mouth and spat out, and the tailed beast bomb turned into a cannonball, tearing the air directly and exploding towards Madara at a terrifying speed. Madara-senpai, here you go. Kabuto reminded. Don't worry. Madara looked indifferent. This high-concentration chakra attack has no meaning to me. Madara's eyes narrowed and she removed Susanoo, and Mangekyo Sharingan quietly turned into Rinnegan. Madara directly activated Rinnegan's ability to swallow chakra and began to absorb the tailed beast. The tailed beast bomb was so big that even with Rinnegan's amazing absorption ability, it couldn't be absorbed for a while. Madara was not in a hurry and absorbed it slowly. Puff! At this moment, a long red sword suddenly penetrated Madara's abdomen from behind. Madara froze and looked at her abdomen blankly. A bloody orange-red sword pierced his abdomen and stabbed out from his chest. Madara turned her head and found that there was a Susanoo behind her, an orange-red Susanoo. This Susanoo was holding a long sword and stabbed herself in the abdomen with the long sword. Kid, why is it you? Madara was a little stunned. Isn't your Susanoo purple? Why did it turn red? Because I have several pairs of Mangekyo. Naruto smiled and looked at Madara. Senior Madara, I had a great time fighting you today. You succeeded in defeating me. In order to reward you, I decided to use all my strength to kill you. After Naruto finished speaking, he activated the sealing ability of the Ten-Fist Sword, tearing Madara's soul apart in an attempt to seal him. Madara felt her soul being pulled out of her body, and a trace of anger flashed in her eyes. It turns out that you deliberately used your powerful weapon, Susanoo, to launch the tailed beast bomb to lure me into absorbing the tailed beast bomb. The purpose is to take advantage of my unpreparedness, attack me from behind, and then seal me with the Ten-Fist Sword. As expected of Senior Madara, he revealed my plan in just a few words. This junior admires me. Naruto smiled lightly, increased the strength of the seal, and finally pulled Madara's soul out of her body. Kid, you are really insidious, even more insidious than Senju Tobirama. I actually read your way. Madara was extremely angry. The body of Dirty Earth is most afraid of seals, and the seal of the Ten-Fist Sword is one of the most powerful seals. Even though he looked like a demon and a god just now, he was still a dead man after all, and he still couldn't escape when faced with the seal of the Ten-Fist Sword. Dust Escape Original Realm Peeling Technique. Wu suddenly took action, and the dust escape formed a white beam of light, which directly bombarded Naruto's Susanoo. Susanoo collapsed instantly, and the wood clone that used Susanoo was also beaten into dust. The 10-fist swords dissipated and Madara returned to his body, with honor in his eyes. Kid, you just made me feel the breath of death. To reward me, I will kill you completely. Madara was completely angry this time. Once stabbed by the 10-fist sword, he will be permanently sealed in Zuimon's illusion world, and even he cannot escape. And he, Uchiha Madara, has to be resurrected, become 10 Tails Jinchuriki, and activate Infinite Tsukuyomi. He had a series of plans. How could he die? Would style the birth of the tree world. Madara clapped her hands and launched her ultimate move decisively. This time, he finally no longer regarded Naruto as a young, slightly talented brat, but a strong man of the same level. He was going to use all his strength against Naruto. To deal with large enemies such as Susanoo and tailed beasts, wood style is the most suitable. Rumble, rumble, the ground shook violently. Countless horny dragon-like trees sprouted from the ground. Rolling, surging, and galloping, it seemed to be sweeping towards Naruto like a wave. Want to use wood style against me? Naruto sneered, immediately removed the powerful Susanoo, and turned on the fairy fox mode. Sage Art Wood Style True Several Thousand Hands. Naruto clapped his hands, and a giant wooden Buddha appeared out of thin air behind him, with thousands of arms behind him. The same true several thousand hands, the true several thousand hands that Naruto summoned now are bigger than a few years ago, too many. Maybe it's still not as good as the peak Hashirama's true several thousand hands, but it's not much worse. Seeing wood style, the coalition ninjas were once again shocked. This time, everyone was numb. Including everyone in Uchiha. Wood style. Naruto has even mastered the wood style. This is the unique blood inheritance limit of first Hokage-sama. This guy. How many cards does he have? Is he really only 16 years old? The ninjas had mixed emotions. Especially everyone in Uchiha. They remember Naruto well. Back then, Naruto was just a kid who hated dogs and abandoned himself, and was always alone in the village. Everyone was walking on the road, no one bothered to look at him twice. Even if he sees it, he will show a disgusted expression. Such a big kid can be kicked to death, so he is an inconspicuous existence in everyone's eyes. But who would have thought? That kid who was looked down upon by everyone back then could actually grow to this point. The contrast is so great. True several thousand hands. Madara's pupils shrank, and she felt a huge wave of emotions in her heart. This brat has indeed mastered wood style. Madara only has eyes for one person in her life, Senju Hashirama. Madara has only paid attention to 3 kinds of blood inheritance limits in her life: wood style, eternal Mangekyo, and Rinnegan. Naruto is doing well, except that he has not shown Rinnegan, but he has mastered both the escape and eternal Mangekyo. This made Madara angry and offended at the same time. How can a brat with no hair at all control the blood inheritance limits of me and Hashirama at the same time? Why should he? At this time, Naruto controlled the Senju Buddha and launched an attack directly. Countless fists formed an airtight rain of fists, bombarding the rushing trees one after another. It turns out, true several thousand hands are the strongest wood-style ninjutsu secrets. Under the bombardment of the Senju Buddha, the tree world created by Madara collapsed, destroyed and turned into wood slag. The huge forest was completely turned into sawdust, piled up everywhere, not even a single intact tree was left. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Kabuto looked at the scene in front of him with a look of disbelief in his eyes. Is this the power of the legendary ninja god Senju Hashirama? This is simply not something that humans can do. Kabuto thought he had mastered Raichi Cave's Sage Mode and had shed his snake body and transformed into a dragon. But compared to the Naruto in front of him, it was nothing. This also strengthened Kabuto's idea of catching Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, no matter what the cost, I will catch you, no matter what. Kabuto's eyes became more intense. Naruto didn't know what Kabuto was thinking. He stood on top of the Buddha and looked down at Madara. Madara-senpai, how do I feel about my wood style? Madara stared at Naruto without saying a word. Her expression remained indifferent, but her heart could not calm down for a long time. After a long time, Madara said, I never expected that a ninja like you could be born in this era. Uzumaki Naruto, you really surprised me, you actually have the abilities of both me and Hashirama. Only for this, you can get my approval. I believe that given time, you will be able to catch up. No, you will definitely surpass me and Kanama. Naruto heard this and smiled. Should I be proud to be praised by Madara-senpai? You little devil. Naruto's tone made Madara a little unhappy. He snorted coldly. It's a pity that you have no time to continue to grow. This era is still my era after all. Senior Madara is joking. You are already a dead person, so don't show up to cause trouble for the juniors. Naruto sighed and said, to tell you something you don't want to hear, no one in this era welcomes you. Even the Uchiha people behind me don't welcome you, so you just treat yourself as a dead person. It doesn't matter if you like it or not, I don't care about that. Madara crossed her arms and looked indifferent. As for those fallen Uchiha, do they count as Uchiha? Having said this, Madara turned on Rinnegan and said slowly, the time for small talk has passed, it's time to get down to business. Tiandao planetary devastation. Madara clapped her hands together, causing the ground to suddenly shake violently. Immediately afterwards, a terrifying suction force came from the sky, tearing the ground under his feet crazily. Large tracts of yellow sand, soil, rocks, were attracted to fly towards the sky. These yellow sand, soil, and rocks are condensed together, constantly colliding, merging, and forming a stone ball. The stone ball is expanding at a terrifying speed. What is this? It's planetary devastation. This is Rinnegan's unique ability. Run, run, don't be attracted, otherwise you will be dead. Ever since Pain's invasion, Rinnegan's abilities have been completely exposed. Especially for those who are Konoha shinobi, planetary devastation is very well known. Now that I saw the planetary devastation, I didn't dare to be negligent, so I quickly called on the coalition ninjas to flee away. Fortunately, the scale of the previous battle between Naruto and Madara was so amazing that the ninjas all jumped very far. Therefore, the gravity of the area where they are located is not strong, and they can easily escape to a safe area. This is trying to seal me. Naruto felt the attraction of heaven and felt awe-inspiring in his heart. He could feel the terrifying tearing force coming from his body, pulling at his body like crazy, as if trying to drag him up. As far as attraction is concerned, the planetary devastation that Nagato performed that time is completely different from this time. However, Madara actually used planetary devastation to catch me. Naruto thought silently. Can I understand that Madara in the dirt state cannot summon the Geto statue, let alone control the Geto statue? Naruto had speculated before that Madara in her filthy state, although she also possessed the Rinnegan, was ultimately a fake. Some of Rinnegan's basic system capabilities can be used. However, the highest level abilities such as Wheel Grave and Border Prison and summoning Geto statue cannot be used. That seems to be the case now. In the previous battle with Madara, Madara had never used Wheel Grave and Border Prison, which proved that he was unable to use it. Now using planetary devastation to deal with herself, it means that the current Madara is also unable to summoning Geto statue. This is very possible. You must know that in the original work, Madara did not say anything after being resurrected, but directly summoned the Geto statue and captured the nine-tailed beast. In just a short moment, he accomplished something that the Akatsuki organization and Obito had not been able to accomplish for several years. How neat is that? Comparing the two, it is not difficult to conclude that Madara cannot summoning the Six Paths Golem. Senior Madara, a broken planetary devastation is like dealing with me. Who do you look down on? Naruto sneered and clapped his hands. Sage Art Wind Style Super Large Jade Spiral Shuriken. A spiral shuriken with a diameter of more than 100 meters and comparable to a tailed beast bomb quickly took shape. Naruto didn't even look and threw it directly towards the planetary devastation. No need to look, the gravity emitted by planetary devastation will pull the spiral shuriken over. What ninjutsu is this? Madara had doubts in her eyes. Puff. At this moment, Madara felt like she had been stabbed again. When he looked down, he saw an orange-red sword piercing his abdomen and coming out of his chest. Another 10-fist sword. Madara turned her head, and sure enough she saw another orange-red Susanoo behind her, stabbing herself with a sword. Madara couldn't help but get furious. Kid, it's this trick again, you're too insidious, is it still over? Naruto had done it once before, and now he did it again, but both times it was silent, and Madara didn't notice it at all. This made Madara angry and confused. How did Naruto's wood clone appear behind her? Was it an ambush in advance? Confused, Madara's movements on her hands were not slow at all. Madara gave up on creating planetary devastation, directly activated Rinnegan's Bunachi ability, Shinra Tensei. The terrifying repulsion exploded, and Naruto and Susanoo were directly ejected. The wood clone disappeared with a bang, and Susanoo also disintegrated and disappeared. On the other side, the semi-finished planetary devastation manufactured by Madara was also blown to pieces by the spiral shuriken. Insidious brat, do you think the same moves are still useful to me? Madara said coldly. We have each other. Naruto wasn't annoyed at all. He also knows that sealing Madara with wood clone alone is unrealistic and is purely to disgust Madara. You have the abilities of both me and Hashirama, but your fighting style is like Senju Tobirama. Madara's face was indifferent, with anger gushing from her eyes. Kid, you make me very unhappy. Not happy? Then come and hit me. Naruto shrugged, looking like he didn't deserve a beating. You little devil. Madara was so angry that she gnashed her teeth and wished she could tear the hateful guy in front of her into pieces. But Madara also knew that in this state, there was really nothing he could do about Naruto. Susanoo, Wood Style, and Naruto are all as good as him. He has more than Naruto and only has the basic system abilities of the fake Rinnegan, but Naruto has 9 tails. The two cancel each other out, and their strength is considered to be equal to that of the others. No one can do anything to the other. I must be resurrected as soon as possible. Madara's face was gloomy. Only through resurrection can I retrieve Rinnegan and control the Gedo statue. It's impossible to defeat this brat in his filthy state. Madara took a deep breath and stared at Naruto coldly. Kid, be proud of yourself, you don't have much time left. Madara glanced at Naruto one last time, soared into the sky, and flew towards the distance. Seeing nothing, Madara also followed. Seeing Madara choose to retreat, Naruto was stunned for a moment, then thoughtful, and soon he understood Madara's plan. Are you preparing to resurrect yourself? Naruto whispered. Escaped. Madara actually escaped. Ha ha ha, the arrogant Uchiha Madara actually escaped, great. Long live Naruto. Long live Naruto. When the coalition ninjas saw Madara leaving, they couldn't help but be overjoyed, raised their arms and shouted, cheering for joy. For them, today was just like a dream, and now their heads are buzzing when they think about it. 2 Susannas with the same mountain peaks, meteorites that cover the sky and the sun, destroy. Dry wood style. All of this subverted their cognition. Naruto, Gaara, Onoki, Shikamaru, Temari and others gathered around Naruto, looking at him with excitement and admiration. Thanks to you today, if it weren't for you, our 4th unit might have been wiped out. Gaara looked at Naruto with gratitude in his eyes. Naruto, thank you for saving me again. Gaara is really grateful to Naruto. Counting this time, Naruto has saved him twice. We are all members of the coalition and we are united. This is what I should do. Naruto looked modest and said beautiful words. Besides, aren't we friends? Gaara nodded heavily. Yes. Friend. Naruto, your strength has reached this level at such a young age, it's really amazing. Onoki floated in the air, with shock in his eyes. Compared with you, I feel really old. Everyone surrounded Naruto like stars holding the moon, expressing their admiration, gratitude and admiration. The sun sets and night gradually falls. The 4th unit received orders from the headquarters to set up camp on the spot and recharge their batteries. The same goes for other troops. They will rest on the premise of doing a good job of vigilance. Naruto did not rest with the 4th unit, he activated the Flying Thunder God technique and returned to the Cloud Shinobi headquarters. Tsunade, Reikage, Minato and others at the headquarters also got the news early and praised Naruto again. After dinner, Naruto went to bed early. Minato, Jiraiya and Kushina did not rest, but stayed outside, acting as Naruto's guards. Of course, they are also Killer Bee's guards. Killer Bee is in the next room. Like Naruto, he is also a key protection target of the coalition forces. Naruto was really tired after a long day of fighting, so he fell into a deep sleep with his head on the pillow. When I woke up, it was already the next morning. System, Song Award. The first thing is still the lottery. Ding, winning the lottery. The lottery was successful. Congratulations to host for winning Rinnegan Uchiha Madara. Holy shit. Naruto jumped up from the bed and hit his head on the ceiling with a loud bang. Naruto, what's wrong? Minato's voice sounded outside the house. Nothing. Naruto quickly shouted. I'm having a nightmare. Minato yelled and said, now that you're awake, get up. Breakfast is almost ready. Okay. After sending Minato away, Naruto quickly suppressed his excitement and began to fuse the Rinnegan. There is no doubt about the power of Rinnegan. This is the ultimate pupil technique originating from the fruit of the sacred tree, known as the eye that controls life and death. Unfortunately, for ninjas, the conditions for opening it are too harsh. Take Madara for example. Madara possesses Indra Chakra herself, and obtained Ashura Chakra through transplantation of Hashirama cells. The combination of the two led to the power of 6 paths, which took a long time, and Rinnegan was only opened in his later years. It's so difficult for Madara to open the Rinnegan, but it would be basically impossible for an ordinary ninja. Naruto got it easily. With continued integration, Naruto could feel his eye power rising crazily like a rocket. At the same time, a very weak but unprecedented new power appeared in his body. This is the power of 6 paths, right? Naruto whispered. Tisk tisk. Madara first elicited the power of 6 paths before she was alive, and the group opened Rinnegan. I got the Rinnegan first, and then I got the power of the 6 paths contained in the Rinnegan. The relationship between cause and effect is wrong. But it doesn't matter. When I become 10 tails Jinchuriki, I will have 60,000. What is the power of 6 paths? Taking stock of the people in the Hokage who have the power of 6 paths, the answer to this question is very clear. The people with the power of 6 paths in Hokage are Sage of 6 Paths, Otsutsuki Hamura, 6 Paths Obito, 6 Paths Madara, 6 Paths Sasuke, 6 Paths Naruto, Kakashi Double Sharingan. 6 Paths Madara and 6 Paths Obito are 10 tails Jinchuriki, and the power of 6 paths naturally comes from 10 tails. 6 Paths Sasuke and 6 Paths Naruto's 6 Paths power comes from the gift of the Sage of 6 Paths. Kakashi Double Sharingan's 6 Paths power comes from Obito's gift. Sage of 6 Paths and Hamura are the sons of Kagaya, and their 6 Paths power is naturally inherited from Kagaya. It is not difficult to see that the power of 6 paths in Hokage comes from either 10 tails or Kagaya. Kagaya itself is integrated with the sacred tree, and 10 tails is Kagaya's true body. It can be seen from this that the power of 6 paths is actually the power of 10 tails, or the power of the sacred tree. In other words, as long as Naruto becomes 10 tails Jinchuriki, he will gain endless power of 6 paths. I have already drawn 8 tails chakra, now I am only missing 1 9 tails chakra. Name, Uzumaki Naruto. Occupation, Ninja. Level, Jonin. Battle mode, Perfect Sage mode, Perfect Kurama mode, Perfect. Chakra attributes, Wind, Thunder, Water, Fire, Earth, Yin, Yang. Taijutsu, 8 Inner Gates, Death Gate. Blood Successor Limit, Mangekyo Sharingan Itachi, Shisui, Sasuke Wood Style, Crystal Style, Boil Style, Lava Style, Ice Release, Rinnegan Madara. Storage space, 1000 cubic meters. This is Naruto's personal attributes now. It doesn't look like much has changed, only 1 Rinnegan has been added. But Naruto's strength increase is huge. Rinnegan's own abilities aside, the increase in Naruto's original strength alone is quite exaggerated. First is the amount of chakra. Naruto could feel that his chakra amount, not counting 9 tails, had at least doubled, or even more. This increase is exaggerated. You know, Naruto integrated Shunglin's physique and practiced sage body. The amount of chakra itself is very large. Now it has doubled again, which is outrageous. The second is eye power. Naruto could clearly feel that his eye power had undergone earth-shaking changes, and the improvement was extremely astonishing. The biggest benefit from this increase in pupil power is 2 pairs of ordinary Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto has 3 pairs of Mangekyo, among which Itachi and Shisui's Mangekyo are both ordinary Mangekyo. Ordinary Mangekyo cannot activate the complete Susanna. It's okay now. Naruto was very sure that he could now activate Itachi's complete Susanoo and this water's complete Susanoo. It can be seen how much the pupil power has improved. Plus other Rinnegan abilities, such as Shinra Tensei, Universal Pull, Planetary Devastation, Wheel Tomb, 060, Border Prison, etc. It is no exaggeration to say that these two wheels can completely upgrade Naruto's strength to a new level. Call it, Weak 6 Paths level. If we encounter Madara from the dirt again, it won't be a problem to defeat him, and it shouldn't be difficult to defeat the resurrected Madara. After breakfast, Naruto left a shadow clone. His true form secretly left Cloud Shinobi and came to a deserted place to try out Rinnegan's abilities. Shinra Tensei, Universal Pull, Planetary Devastation, Tengai Shinsei, Wounded Tomb Border Prison, Rinne Tensei, well, forget it. And this black stick, finally, try the summoning technique. There was a smirk on Naruto's lips. His Rinnegan was the Rinnegan drawn by the system. Pure Madara Rinnegan. Naruto wanted to know if he could summon Madara's Geto statue with the Rinnegan. If possible, it would be a complete blow to the bottom of the pot, and the Fourth Ninja World War could end early. Naruto immediately tried. Summoning technique. No response. Failed. Naruto was a little disappointed and tried a few more times, but still had no response and all failed. I knew it wasn't that simple. Naruto shook his head slightly, not feeling depressed, and continued to practice Rinnegan's various abilities. About an hour later, the shadow clone left in Cloud Shinobi suddenly disappeared, and strange memories of Japan flooded into his mind. Naruto sighed softly, activated the Flying Thunder God technique, returned to Cloud Shinobi village, and came to Raikage's office. Naruto, Tien, Tsunade said with a serious look. What's wrong? Naruto asked. There are many people in Raikage's office. In addition to the two figures of Raikage and Tsunade, Minato, Kushina, Jiraiya, and Killer Bee are all there. There are also Shikaku, Mabuyi, Yamanaka and others. Uchiha Madara, grandfather, second grandfather, Itachi, Nagato, the masked man, former Jinchuriki and others suddenly appeared on the first battlefield. Jiraiya said quickly. They swept across the battlefield with a devastating force, and then rushed towards Cloud Shinobi village. They want to. Naruto was shocked. You guessed it right, the enemy's target is the headquarters. Tsunade looked grave. To be precise, it's you and Killer Bee. They are coming for you. That's true. Naruto smiled. Then let them come, just in time to catch them all and end this war. Don't be careless. Lu Ju looked solemn. Although the number of enemies is not large, they are all high-end combat power, so it is better to be careful. Good, Raikage said solemnly. One Uchiha Madara is as good as you, plus first Hokage, second Hokage, Uchiha Itachi, masked man, Nagato, former Jinchuriki. Such a terrifying force is very terrifying. Raikage is a very tough person, but he is a little pessimistic at the moment, which shows how bad the situation is. It's not his fault, the enemy is really too fierce. Madara, Hashirama, Tobirama, Itachi, Nagato, masked man, former Jinchuriki. These were once powerful figures in the ninja world. They were so notorious that any one of them could destroy a country. Naruto asked, what is the headquarters going to do? We have issued an order for other troops to return quickly to support the headquarters. Tsunade said, but it will take a certain amount of time to return. During this period, someone must block the enemy. Having said this, Tsunade couldn't help but look at Raikage. In short, we can't let the enemy attack the headquarters and use Cloud Shinobi village as a battlefield, otherwise the hidden village will be completely ruined after the war. I see. Naruto asked, I'll stop them. It's too dangerous for you to be alone. Tsunade shook his head and said, let's go together. The war has reached this point, and it's time for us to take action. Good. Raikage nodded heavily. The enemy is coming fiercely and is obviously forcing us to fight to the death. It is meaningless for us to continue to sit at the headquarters. We might as well fight with the enemy. Fine. Naruto nodded. Although we want to stop the enemy, the few of us are still a bit weak. Tsunade added. Naruto, please bring the Kazekage, Tsuchikage, Mizukage, and Kakashi over. If we join forces, we can finally give the enemy a try. No problem. Naruto then left Cloud Shinobi village and went to various units to find Gaara, Inoki and others. In less than 10 minutes, Gaara and others were brought over. After everyone gathered, they immediately rushed to where Madara and others were, and finally encountered Madara and others outside Cloud Shinobi Village. The two sides met and stopped at the same time. Facing each other from afar, sparks of hatred burst out. Naruto immediately looked to the other side. None other than Madara, Hashirama, Tobirama, Itachi, Nagato, and the 6 former Jinchuriki. Naruto, we meet again. Nagato said looking at Naruto. Meet again. Naruto smiled too. Where's Konan? How is she? Nagato asked. She's doing great. That's good. Nagato breathed a sigh of relief. Grandfather. Tsunade looked at Senju Hashirama. It's Shaozuna. Hashirama's eyes lit up, and then he sighed softly. I didn't expect to meet again in this way. Grandpa, what happened to you a year ago? Tsunade couldn't help but ask. A year ago, Naruto revealed Hashirama and Tobirama, and gave the two brothers absolute freedom and allowed them to move freely. But it's a pity that the two brothers suddenly lost contact. Naruto didn't know exactly what happened. All I know is that the last place they disappeared was the Kingdom of Wind. It's a long story. Hashirama sighed. We secretly investigated members of the Akatsuki organization and found that they appeared in the Kingdom of Wind. So I chased after him, but I was ambushed by the enemy. In the end, I was defeated and sealed. When we showed up again, we found that the filth had been exposed again, and the person who performed the spell had become a villain. I knew it was so. Naruto wasn't surprised. When he created first generation and second generation, he only used ordinary sacrifices, and the accuracy was not high. Therefore, the two brothers could not exert their pre-birth strength at all, and it was normal for them to lose and be caught. Naruto glanced around and finally looked at Obito. During the last 5 Shadows meeting, Obito knew the truth about infinite Tsukuyomi, and his mentality must have collapsed. But now it seems like nothing has changed. Naruto murmured and asked simply, Mask Man, do you plan to continue executing Project Tsuki no Mi? As soon as these words came out, Tsunade, Onoki, Gaara, Muvi, Terumime and others immediately looked at Obiji. They also wanted to know what the masked man was thinking at this time. You already know the truth about Project Tsuki no Mi, why do you want to do this? At this time, Obito is wearing a white threaded mask, revealing 2 eyes, a Rinnegan in the left eye and a Sharingan in the right eye. Rinnegan. How come he also has a Rinnegan? Tsunade and others felt shocked. Naruto, the story you told last time was so exciting, I almost believed it. Obito stared at Naruto coldly, his voice cold, but you can't hide it from this eye. Through this Rinnegan, I deciphered all the contents on that stone tablet and learned all the truth. As Naruto expected, Obito's mentality really collapsed after the last 5 cage meeting. In order to stabilize Obito, Black Zetsu asked him to transplant Madara's Rinnegan and then interpret the content of the stone tablet. Obito did as he was told, and then discovered that the content on the stone tablet was not at all what Naruto said. Obito realized that Naruto had cheated on him. So Obito reaffirmed his belief and planned to continue executing Project Tsuki no Mi and launch Infinite Tsukuyomi. Hearing Obito's words, Naruto couldn't help but understand. The so-called truth he told at the 5 Shadows conference was the truth he told based on the plot of Hokage. Not what is written on the stone tablet. That stone tablet was taken care of by Black Zetsu a long time ago. After Obito transplanted Rinnegan and looked at the stone tablet, he naturally couldn't see the truth. What he saw was the modified content of Black Zetsu. Looking at it now, Obito obviously believes it again. I should have destroyed the stone tablet that day, but it doesn't matter. I don't expect you to change your ways. Naruto shook his head and continued. You came here with great force today, are you trying to catch me? Obito looked at Naruto and said coldly, I not only want to get 9 tails and 8 tails, but I also want to take the Eye of the Moon. Then it depends on whether you have the strength. Naruto raised the corners of his mouth slightly. Don't hit your head and bleed because of your lack of strength. Then give it a try. Obito waved his hand, and the 6 Jinchuriki from the previous generation rushed to him one after another, staring at Naruto indifferently. The force consists of Wooden Golem, Makora, 4 tails Jinchuriki Han, 5 tails Jinchuriki Han, 6 tails Jinchuriki Fu. The 6 Jinchuriki are all made of dirty earth. And their eyes are the same as Obito, Rinnegan in the left eye and Sharingan in the right eye. Obviously, they were taken. The earth became Pain's 6 paths and now fully obeys Obito's orders. What happened? Killer Bee stared at the 6 Jinchuriki and asked doubtfully, didn't the tailed beasts in their bodies be taken away? Most likely after they were resurrected by the impure world reincarnation, the masked man sealed the tailed beast into their handles again. Naruto sighed. Obito, use Jinchuriki to make Pain's 6 paths, you can't think of it. I prepared them just for you in 8 tails. Obito said, pointing to the master beside him. Naruto, look at the hands beside me. It's impossible for you to defeat us, just hand over 8 tails and 9 tails. Don't struggle in vain, it's meaningless. Hearing this, Tsunade and others couldn't help but look at the enemy on the opposite side, their hearts suddenly heavy. Madara, Hashirama, Tobirama, Itachi, Nagato. Just looking at the lineup, it's really impossible to beat. You have more people, but do you think you can defeat us with more people? You are so naive. Naruto smiled lightly, and in a flash, he was suddenly in front of Itachi, his eyes switching to Mangekyo who was wet with water. Distinguished heavenly gods, activate. Itachi stiffened, then relaxed. Itachi, the task of lifting the impure world reincarnation is up to you. Naruto said to Itachi. I will handle it. Itachi nodded and said, through the summoning contract, I have sensed Kabuto's position. Naruto smiled slightly, grabbed Itachi's shoulders and disappeared. A moment later, Naruto reappeared. Itachi was gone. Everyone was baffled by Naruto's operation. Naruto, what did you do? Tsunade asked. Using the distinguished heavenly gods, the impure world reincarnation's control over Itachi was overridden, allowing him to regain his freedom. Naruto explained casually. Then I asked Itachi to find Kabuto, hoping to lift the reanimation jutsu as soon as possible. In Naruto's opinion, Itachi is the most suitable candidate to remove impure world reincarnation. With one move from Izanami, Dream Master Kabuto directly transforms into the director of the orphanage and slips away. Everyone was stunned. Is there still such an operation? Distinguished heavenly gods. I didn't expect that distinguished heavenly gods can be used like this. Naruto, you really shouldn't be underestimated. Obito stared straight at Naruto. However, your distinguished heavenly gods shouldn't be able to be used in a short time, right? Roughly the same. Naruto didn't deny it. Then I'll capture you in 8 tails before the reanimation jutsu is lifted. Obito looked at Madara and said in a cold tone, leave 9 tails to me, you are responsible for capturing 8 tails. You guy, you actually ordered me. Forget it, just do what you said. Madara was a little unhappy, but not angry. Her eyes turned to Killer Bee, are you 8 tails? Shua, Raikage, Tsunade, Onoki, Gaara and others immediately rushed to Killer Bee and protected him behind them. I would never leave my game to a fool like you. Raikage directly activates lightning-style chakra mode, unless you step over my corpse. Don't even think about capturing 8 tails. Tsunade stared at Madara coldly, Onoki, Gaara, Terumime and others also stared at Madara with unkind eyes. The mantis's arm is like a chariot, and the earthworm is shaking the tree. Madara crossed her arms and said with disdain and ridicule, do you also want to dance? Chapter 96. Madara is a very unruly person. Except for Senju Hashirama, he doesn't take anyone seriously in this world. Of course, now there's another Naruto. Apart from these 2 people, even Senju Tobirama and the 5 shadows are just chickens and dogs in Madara's eyes. Uchiha Madara, stop looking down on us. Tsunade glared at Madara. You are a dead person, so you should just go and lie down in the grave. This is no longer your time. HMPH. I can finally show off my skills. I can't wait. Madara, I will definitely defeat you. Raikage turned on the lightning-style chakra mode, thunder and lightning filled his body, and stared at Madara coldly. We can postpone the wedding, but not the war. Terumime stared at Madara indifferently. Madara, don't look down on women, otherwise you will regret it. Fight, Gaara said calmly. The current 5 shadows. Madara looked indifferent, with disdain in her eyes. It seems that if I want to catch 8 tails, I have to defeat you. That's fine. After all, we are the current Wying, and the lineup is okay, so I'll just play with you. As soon as she finished speaking, Madara directly turned on Susanoo, turned into a blue giant, and slashed at the 5 shadows. Then, Wying became miserable. Madara drove the Gundam rampage, slashing and slashing, and the five shadows couldn't resist it at all. With the help of lightning-style chakra mode, Reikage activates the physical body to an astonishing degree, with extremely exaggerated speed and strength. However, with one punch, it could barely cause some damage to Susanoo, but it could not hurt her at all. Terumi Mei's lava style can corrode Susanoo's surface but not the inside. Gaara used quicksand to drag Madara out of Susanoo, and used the desert layer to seal Madara. But the next second, Madara drove Susanoo to split the seal and broke out again. Onoki activated Dust Escape, but was completely absorbed by Madara's Rinnegan without causing any damage. Tsunade broke Susanoo's ribs with one punch, and before he could be happy, he was struck by Susanoo's long sword. At the critical moment, Tsunade broke the sword, healed the injury with the help of ninja art, meiotic regeneration, and narrowly escaped. The people watching the battle around were a little dull. The five shadows and five people joined forces, but instead of having any impact on Madara, they were in danger. It's not the same magnitude at all. Kakashi sighed. It's time for us to take action, we can't just watch the five shadows being beaten by Madara. Jiraiya nodded. Boom _. The five shadows were once again blasted away by Susanoo, returning to their previous position, staring at Madara with fear on their faces. Before Naruto, you fought Madara fiercely and fought with ease. I thought Madara's strength was average. Gaara gasped and looked at Naruto. Now that we actually fight, I realize how powerful Madara is. What a monster. Tsunade, Reikage and Terumi Mei had the same idea. They didn't see the fight between Naruto and Madara with their own eyes, but they only heard the news afterwards that Naruto suppressed Madara. This gave them the illusion that although Madara was powerful, it was not because she was ridiculously powerful. Together, their five shadows can compete with Madara. Now after fighting against each other, I realized how wrong I was. Sister Tsunade, you should stay and protect Killer Bee, I will deal with these people. Naruto said looking at the five cages. Naruto, how can this be done? Tsunade was about to object when suddenly, dazzling white beams of light rose from Madara, Hashirama, Tobirama and others. Under the illumination of white light, the dust on Hashirama and others dissipated, and their souls separated from their bodies. This is. Tsunade was shocked. Is Impure World Reincarnation unsolved? Onoki said excitedly. Naruto boy, is this situation like Impure World Reincarnation solved? Naruto nodded. It seems Itachi succeeded. Very good. It's solved. It's finally solved. As expected of Itachi. ... Five Shadows, Kakashi, Jiraiya and others were very excited. In this Ninja World War, the main force of the enemy army, or the enemy's high-end combat power, was all Uoshin Tenya. Now that the Impure World Reincarnation is unlocked, it means that these summoned masters will leave soon. There is hope for victory in the war. Finally freed. Hashirama's soul hung in the air and smiled at Tsunade and Naruto. Naruto, I've caused you trouble. Grandfather. Tsunade wants to stay. Naruto said. Shodai, the war is not over yet, you go back to the Pure Land first, I will summon you later. Hashirama was indeed very concerned about this war and was unwilling to leave here. Hearing this, he couldn't help but nodded. Trouble. Naruto, hurry up. Tobirama couldn't help but urge. This time, we will join the war as coalition ninjas. Don't worry, Hashirama-senpai. As the filthy soil was lifted, one strong man left one after another, including the 6 former Jinchuriki. Upon seeing this, Obito quickly pulled out the tailed beast from Jinchuriki's body, and then bound it with fluorescent chakra chains. Luckily he was fast. If the speed is slow, Jinchuriki will take the tailed beast with him to the Pure Land world. That would be the end of it. Tailed beast. Everyone looked at the 7-headed tailed beasts and found that they were completely unconscious and lying on the ground like dead dogs. Chakra chains run through their heads, controlling their chakra, and controlling them to death. Rinnegan is too restrained against tailed beasts. Naruto couldn't help but sigh. It really makes people angry to see other tailed beasts being bullied by this fool. Nine Tails was very angry. Don't be anxious, rescue them immediately. Naruto smiled and reassured Nine Tails. Our current strength is enough to save the tailed beasts. Nine Tails hummed. It's a pity that we still need one Nine Tails chakra, otherwise we will directly enter the Six Paths mode and beat this grandson to death. But it doesn't matter, Nine Tails added. Minato has my half in his body, so I can temporarily let it complete the Nine Tails chakra. We'll see. Naruto waved his hand. He still wanted to quickly resurrect 10 tails with the complete 9 tails chakra. That kind of 10 tails is the most perfect 10 tails. While Naruto and 9 tails were chatting, the strong men from Madara's side had disappeared. Only Madara remained where she was. What happened? Onoki stared at Madara with deep confusion in his eyes. Why didn't Madara leave? The chakra that just dissipated is also absorbed by the body. Terumi Mei's beautiful eyes are deep. Why haven't you left yet? Reikage gritted his teeth. The impure world reincarnation has obviously been lifted, why hasn't Madara disappeared? Everyone else was also staring at Madara, feeling bad in their hearts. He cracked the impure world reincarnation. Naruto said, shaking his head. What's the meaning? Everyone immediately looked at Naruto. Impure world reincarnation is the art of summoning the dead. Naruto was very calm, but it has a risk. As long as you know the seal, the dead summoned from the Pure Land, you can manually cancel the summoning contract of impure world reincarnation. Cancel the contract. Tsunade's delicate body trembled, and she said with a look of disbelief, Naruto, what do you mean? Just like you guessed. Naruto nodded. As long as the summoning contract is released, the impure world reincarnation will become a free body. And he has immortality, infinite chakra, is not controlled by the caster, and can move freely. How so? Onoki murmured. Impure world reincarnation actually has such a risk, this ninjutsu. Second Hokage really shouldn't have developed this ninjutsu. Reikage said unhappily. It's meaningless to say this now, let's find a way to stop Madara. Terumi Mei sighed. Tell the caster that forbidden technique cannot be abused. Madara sneered, formed a seal with her hands, and clapped her hands. Reanimation jutsu, solution. The white light that shrouded Madara's body disappeared, and Madara returned to the body of filthy earth, completely getting rid of the control of the sorcerer. Sure enough, it's untied. Everyone looked at Madara, who had returned to her original appearance. Their expressions were extremely ugly, and their hearts fell to the bottom. This kind of ninjutsu can't restrain me at all. Madara looked disdainful. Naruto, you should know the best about this kind of thing, right? Naruto nodded and said, yes. Your strength is strong enough, and the accuracy of your impure world reincarnation is high enough. Kabuto, this guy has added some ingredients to you, making you even stronger than you were at the peak of your life. I'm not surprised at all that you can escape the control of impure world reincarnation. But it doesn't matter. Naruto smiled lightly, waved his hand and released a few white zetsu. There are plenty of ways to deal with you. Madara's pupils narrowed and she looked at the white zetsu on the ground. Do you want to use them as sacrifices to summon Hashirama? Don't you really want to see Hashirama? Naruto joked. The precision of Shodai's dirt before was not high, and its strength was not half as good as the peak. You must be very sorry, right? In this case, I will also be a dream master and make your dream come true. Reanimation jutsu. Naruto slapped the ground, and not long after, Hashirama and Tobirama condensed into shape and appeared again. Seeing first generation and second generation, everyone was shocked. First Hokage and second Hokage are alive again, and they are still in their own camp, so the chance of winning is even greater now. Tobirama looked around and found that he was in the real world again, and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Finally resurrected, Hashirama smiled, feeling his body this time. His eyes brightened slightly. Tisk. The body is almost entirely filled with my cells. Naruto, the accuracy of this reincarnation is very high. Shodai, you should be able to exert your heyday strength now, right? Naruto asked with a smile. It's still a little short of that. But it doesn't matter. Hashirama waved his hand. The top priority now is to seal Madara, rescue the tailed beasts, and end this war. Shodai, then Madara will be left to you. Naruto said. I will handle it. Hashirama nodded and looked at Madara. Madara, I kept you waiting for a long time, let's get started. As Naruto expected, Madara was not angry because of Hashirama's resurrection, but was extremely excited. Hashirama, after this resurrection, I have always wanted to do one thing, and that is to defeat you with dignity. Madara looked at first generation excitedly. Unfortunately, your dirt accuracy is too poor, and your strength is not as good as yours. I feel so sorry. But this time the accuracy of the dirty soil is very high, and the strength is infinitely close to that in life. This is the you I want to defeat. If you want to defeat me, just do it. Hashirama smiled slightly and jumped away. Hashirama. Madara immediately gave chase. Rumble. The two of them didn't go far before a big fight broke out. Madara opened the complete Susanoo, Hashirama created wooden golem, and started a crazy collision. The earth is shaking. The air was vibrating. The rocks shattered and the earth cracked. The sky is dark and the earth is dark, the sun and moon are gone. Light. Madara's Susanoo Kamui is unparalleled and can easily split the mountain in half with one strike. Hashirama's wooden dragon is extremely powerful and has amazing defense. It can knock Susanoo away with one punch. Watching the fight between the two, everyone present swallowed their saliva with unconcealable shock in their eyes. Too strong, Minato exclaimed. Is this the battle between Shodai and Madara? It feels like we are not in the same dimension. They are the strongest ones who can calm down the troubled times. Ordinary people and them. Jiraiya shook his head and smiled. Compared to them, our current task is to deal with this guy. After hearing this, everyone withdrew their attention and focused their attention on Obito and the seven-headed tailed beast. Masked Man, you are already at a disadvantage, do you still want to resist? Gaara shouted. The war hasn't come to an end yet, we can't say who will win or lose. Obito said indifferently. You already know the true purpose of infinite Tsukuyomi, why are you still obsessed with it? Tsunade said angrily. Do you really want to destroy this world? Onoki, Reikage and others also gritted their teeth. Previously at the 5-Cage conference, Naruto had made it clear about Project Tsuki no Mi, and Obito also knew it. But he insists on continuing to implement Project Tsuki no Mi. This approach is purely to destroy the world. Compared to Naruto's words, I prefer to believe my own eyes and what I see with my own eyes. Obito's tone was cold. Naruto lied before. He not only deceived me, but also deceived you. The so-called infinite Tsukuyomi is a ninjutsu to bring peace to the world, not to resurrect Kagaya. The 5 shadows were shocked and couldn't help but look at Naruto. Naruto, what's going on? Naruto was too lazy to explain more, and turned to Obito and said, Obito, since you are willing to believe what you see, then live well and see the end. Etc. Kakashi suddenly interrupted Naruto. He stared at Naruto and said, Naruto, you said he brought. Obito. Minato, Kushina, and Jiraiya also looked stunned. Obito. Is the masked man Obito? What a joke. Didn't I tell you before? Naruto blinked. Okay, I forgot. This guy is Obito, it's true. No. Impossible. Obito is obviously dead. How could he be Obito? Kakashi felt as if he was struck by lightning. He looked at the troublemaker in disbelief. Are you really Obito? Naruto, are you mistaken? Minato argued. Obito already died in the Battle of Canopy Bridge, it can't be Obito. It's actually very simple to prove whether he is Obito. Naruto rolled his eyes, raised the corners of his mouth slightly, suddenly grabbed Kakashi's arm and threw it towards Obito. Obito directly activated Kamui, and the space was distorted, bringing Kakashi into the Kamui space. Naruto, what are you doing? Everyone was completely confused by Naruto's actions. You'll know it just by looking at it. Naruto turned on the Fairy Fox mode and launched an attack decisively. Naruto didn't attack anywhere else, only Obito's face and head. Obito uses the hollow ability to bring his head and face into the Kamui space again and again. Then he became tragic. When avoiding Naruto's third attack, the threaded mask on Obito's face suddenly cracked. Kakashi in Kamui's space took action. This is Minato. Kushina looked at that face and was shocked. Bring Obito. Kakashi also left the Kamui space at this time. He stared at Obito. It's really you. It's really Obito. Kushina opened her mouth wide and looked like she had seen a ghost. He is obviously dead. Obito, what on earth is going on? Kakashi couldn't accept it. Obito, I always thought you died in the Battle of Canopy Bridge. Why are you still alive? Why is it like this? Why are you collaborating with people like Madara? Facing the questioning from his former friends, Obito's expression was numb and showed no emotion at all. It doesn't matter whether I'm alive or not. Obito's expression was numb, like a walking zombie, but if I insist on the reason. Obito paused and stared at Kakashi with cold eyes. Because you refused to save Lin until she died. Kakashi shuddered, and the memories of the past appeared in his mind like a slideshow. Shame, grief, guilt, all kinds of emotions were tearing at his soul like wild beasts. Kakashi fell into endless sadness and self-blame. His voice trembled. Obito, won't you scold me? Obito spread his hands and said, in such a boring reality, what's the use of scolding? Kakashi was silent. I am not interested in this world that is about to disappear, and I have nothing to say to you. Obito actually knew the reason for Lin's death, and also knew that Lin was willing to die at the hands of Kakashi in order to protect Konoha. It's not Kakashi's fault. Lin's death made Obito despair, and also made Obito completely despair of this unreasonable ninja world. Therefore, Obito wants to end this world and create a beautiful and reasonable new world. This is the Uchiha clan. Second Hokage sighed. Because you love too deeply, once you lose love, you will easily go to extremes and eventually lose control. I have seen too many similar examples. Everyone was silent. Thinking back carefully, people of the Uchiha clan are indeed prone to extremes. Obito, I didn't abide by the agreement I made with you to protect Lin. I'm trash, I'm trash. Kakashi still persuaded Obito. But you don't have to be like this, you are the hero of the village. Kakashi, this is the world. Obito's expression was dull. In this world, you and I can't change the fate of becoming garbage. No, everyone in this world cannot escape the reincarnation of becoming garbage. Having said this, Obito formed a seal with his hands and clapped his hands. Summoning technique. Boom, white mist exploded, and a huge figure appeared behind Obito. It was Geto statue. This is. Everyone looked at the Geto statue. This is the Geto statue, and it's also the Todoroki. Naruto smiled and said, what was left behind when the Sage of Six Paths took time off to work on Ten Tails chakra? So this is the body of Ten Tails. Everyone suddenly realized. Then, 7 fluorescent chains were sprayed out from Geto statue's mouth, shooting towards the 7-tailed beasts. The tailed beasts were dragged into the mouth of the demon without any resistance, and there was no resistance from the beginning to the end. As the seal was completed, the golem suddenly let out a wail of pain, its eyes widened with anger, and its expression ferocious. What happened? The golem is alive. Everyone was a little scared. 10 Tails is coming back to life. Naruto explained calmly. Resurrection. Didn't they get 8 tails and 9 tails yet? How could 10 tails be resurrected? Everyone was baffled. You don't need the complete 8 tails and 9 tails, just the partial chakra of 8 tails and 9 tails is enough. Obito's expression was numb and he looked at everyone indifferently, as if he was telling something that had nothing to do with him. 10 Tails is about to be resurrected, and the world is about to end. Give up your struggle, it's meaningless. Hateful, what should we do now? Everyone's scalp was numb. I don't know exactly how strong 10 Tails is. But 10 Tails swallowed 7-tailed beasts, which is absolutely beyond imagination just in terms of the amount of chakra. 10 Tails cannot be resurrected. Tsunade shouted sternly. Once 10 Tails is fully resurrected, everything is over, you must go to it. Princess Tsunade is right, we must prevent the resurrection of 10 Tails at all costs. Onoki said in a deep voice. Everyone, let's attack together and kill it completely before it is resurrected. No, Naruto waved his hand to stop everyone. 10 Tails' vitality is extremely powerful, we alone cannot kill it. If 10 Tails were that easy to kill, Sage of Six Paths wouldn't be here now. This thing is just like Toru Yoruichi, it is immortal and can only be sealed but cannot be killed. Everyone in one room, what should we do? Just watch it. Naruto teased slightly. Don't you want to see the legendary 10 Tails? Meet you big-headed ghost. Everyone was speechless. Yes, we want to see the legendary 10 Tails, but we want to survive even more. Naruto, what time is it now? Don't say such sarcastic words. Kushina hit Naruto on the head. If you have a way to deal with 10 Tails, tell me now. Don't worry, I have a way to deal with 10 Tails. Naruto had a confident smile on his face. As for now, everyone just watch quietly. This is the legendary 10 Tails, the source of chakra, which may not be visible for thousands of years. Naruto, do you really have a way to deal with 10 tails? Tsunade asked again unsurely. Yeah Naruto, this is no joke. Everyone was also dubious. It wasn't that he didn't trust Naruto. It's a matter of great importance, and if anything goes wrong, the ninja world may fall into a bottomless abyss. No one dares to be careless. Don't worry, I know what I know. Naruto didn't explain much and simply said, just take a look. Naruto, what kind of medicine are you selling in this gourd? Everyone looked at each other. At this point, we have no other choice but to choose to believe Naruto. That's right, Naruto does everything right. Since he said there is a way, there must be a way. I believe Naruto. Time passes minute by minute. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, 10 Tails finally successfully resurrected and transformed into his first form. At this time, 10 Tails has 10 tails and a red 6 Magatama Rinnegan. 10 Tails' mouth is full of ferocious fangs, each tooth is like a sharp steel knife, shining with a cold light. There was a thing that looked like shit on its back, and its 10 tails were flying in the wind, like 10 long dragons. Obito appeared above 10 Tails, and a pipe emerged from 10 Tails' body and was connected to the back of Obito's head. This is 10 Tails. Everyone stared at 10 Tails with wide eyes, their eyes full of shock and horror. So big. Tsunade's mouth opened wide. Compared with it, the originally huge-tailed beast is a bit underwhelming. As this 10 Tails, just this size alone makes people unable to muster the courage to fight. Onoki was horrified. It's really hard to imagine how Sage of Six Paths defeated this guy back then. Naruto, do you really have a way to deal with this guy? Everyone felt heavy. Before seeing 10 Tails, everyone still had great confidence in Naruto. Now after seeing 10 Tails, this confidence has been shaken. Is this kind of monster really something that humans can defeat? 10 Tails is finally resurrected. Madara, who was fighting Hashirama, stopped attacking and looked at 10 Tails who was roaring in the sky, his eyes shining. It's time for me to be resurrected too. Madara raised the corners of her mouth slightly, looked at First Generation and said, Hashirama, you have led this world on the wrong path, now let me correct your mistakes. Hashirama had a bad feeling in his heart and shouted loudly, Madara, what do you want to do? You'll know soon. Madara smiled strangely, immediately dismissed Susanoo, and flew towards 10 Tails. Madara. Hashirama quickly chased after him. Madara was very fast. She jumped on top of 10 Tails in a few leaps and came to Obito's side. A tube emerged from 10 Tails' body and was also connected to the back of Madara's head. Obito glanced at Madara and said, I want to start the ritual of infinite Tsukuyomi immediately. That big illusion will take some time to call the moon, and these guys will hinder the spell. Madara crossed her arms. It's better to use 10 Tails to deal with them first, it will be easier for us. Madara, you just want to try the power of the 10 stars, right? You're just as childish as a child. Obito's expression was numb and he couldn't help but mock Madara. No, you were wrong. Madara smiled faintly. Children are the only ones who are irritable when they do things. While the two were chatting, 10 Tails, who was resurrected into his first form, strode towards the crowd. It sensed the huge chakra on Naruto and Killer Bee, which made 10 Tails very angry. It's going to be taken away. Boom boom boom. 10 Tails has a huge body and makes a loud rumbling sound when it steps on the ground, kicking up a lot of smoke and dust. It's like an earthquake. Not good. 10 Tails is coming. Everyone on alert. Seeing 10 Tails running towards them, everyone's hearts trembled, and their bodies tensed up instantly, getting ready for battle. Naruto, what should I do? Gaara even looked at Naruto. I'll try the power of 10 Tails first. Naruto jumped into the air and rushed towards 10 Tails quickly. When he was about to rush to 10 Tails, Naruto suddenly stopped and stared at 10 Tails with burning eyes. The day he traveled to this world, Naruto knew that Tao would wake up sooner or later. The day has finally arrived. Naruto, do you want to challenge 10 Tails? Madara looked at Naruto mockingly. I admit that you are very talented, and your strength is not inferior to that of me and Master. But if you want to challenge 10 Tails, you are overestimating your abilities. Naruto, don't waste your efforts. Obito's expression was numb and his tone was cold. Tano is not something you can resist now. Try it. Naruto instantly turned on the fairy fox mode and clapped his hands together. Sage Art Myojin Gate. Bang bang bang. A dozen red torii gates descended from the sky and nailed Ten Tails' tails and limbs like nails, nailing them to the ground. Head seal. The last torii pinned Ten Tails' head, and the head of the chest was pressed firmly to the ground. Myojin Gate. Hashirama's eyes lit up and he praised. This boy Naruto has even learned my Myojin Gate. Everyone said nothing and stared at Ten Tails, wondering whether the Mingshenman could suppress Ten Tails. Ten Tails struggled wildly and was unable to move for a moment. Suppressed. Myojin Gate actually suppressed Ten Tails. Everyone was a little surprised. Don't be too happy, it's not that simple. Hashirama shook his head. The power of Ten Tails is incredibly powerful, and it is not so easy to subdue. Hashirama can feel that Ten Tails' power is much stronger than his, and cannot be suppressed by Myojin Gate. Things turned out just as Hashirama expected. Ten Tails' tail and limbs suddenly shrunk and broke away from the Myojin Gate. Ten Tails opened its bloody mouth, condensed a tailed beast bomb, and then swallowed the tailed beast bomb into its mouth. Ten Tails opened his mouth and spat it out, and the tailed beast bomb in his mouth was like a laser, exploding towards Naruto at a terrifying speed. Boom! The tailed beast bomb emitted an extremely dazzling light, and the entire world was illuminated blood red. All the trees, rocks, and hills that the tailed beast bomb passed were turned into powder. Finally it hit Naruto hard. Naruto. Everyone was shocked. Is Naruto going to be okay? Kushina's heart clenched. Minato's expression was extremely solemn. Madara and Obito stood above Ten Tails, silently watching Naruto who was hit by the tailed beast bomb. Obito's expression was numb. Madara's face was filled with mockery. However, the next second, the ridicule on Madara's face disappeared, replaced by shock and disbelief. This guy is actually absorbing the tailed beast bomb. Madara possesses the Rinnegan and is incredibly insightful. He saw that after the tailed beast bomb hit Naruto, it was absorbed into Naruto's body without a drop. How did he do it? Madara had a look of disbelief on her face, and then immediately looked into Naruto's eyes. Madara screamed as if she was struck by lightning. Rinnegan. Why does he also have a Rinnegan? It's indeed a Rinnegan. Obito's numb face also showed an expression of disbelief. Naruto Tangran also has a Rinnegan. Uzumaki Naruto, where did you come from Rinnegan? Madara asked with a sullen face. Madara is most proud of only one thing in her life, successfully opening Rinnegan. This is the thing that Madara is most proud of in her life, because even her mortal enemy Hashirama has not been able to do this. Again, since the death of Sage of Six Paths, for thousands of years, only he has successfully opened the Rinnegan. Madara certainly has something to be proud of. However, now that Naruto has also unlocked Rinnegan, Rinnegan is no longer exclusive to Madara. Madara was angry and confused. He desperately wanted to find out the answer and figure out the origin of Naruto Rinnegan. Rinnegan. What Rinnegan? Madara said. Naruto also activated the Rinnegan. What? Real or fake? Madara's words shocked everyone in the coalition. They all looked at Naruto, but they could only see Naruto's back. Madara-senpai, do you know why you activated the Rinnegan? Naruto asked without answering. Sage of Six Paths, in pursuit of stability, divides yin and yang into two poles. Senju is yang, and Uchiha is yin. Madara said indifferently. Two opposite forces interact with each other to create everything. Wrong. Naruto shook his head and smiled. Senior Madara, the reason why you really opened your eyes is not that simple. Yeah, Madara frowned slightly. Rinnegan are the eyes of Sage of Six Paths. Naruto smiled lightly. And Sage of Six Paths has two sons, Indra and Ashura. Indra inherited the immortal eyes of Six Paths, and he is also the ancestor of your Uchiha clan. Ashura inherited the sage body of Six Paths, he is the ancestor of the Senju clan of the forest. And Madara-senpai, you are the reincarnation of Indra, and Shodai is the reincarnation of Ashura. Naruto shrugged. So, the real reason why you opened your eyes is because you got Shodai's flesh and blood during the battle at the Valley of the End, and thus got Ashura's chakra. The Ashura chakra, combined with the Indra chakra in you, creates the chakra of Six Paths. Under the influence of the Sage of Six Paths chakra, you opened the Rinnegan. It's not nonsense like how Senju and Uchiha interact with each other and get all kinds of things. If that's the case, wouldn't it be possible for any two Senju money ones to combine with Uchiha to activate the Rinnegan? Madara's eyes narrowed slightly, and her heart stirred up. Do you think I will believe this? Although he said this, Madara felt that Naruto's words made sense, and he somewhat believed it. Believe it or not, it's up to you. Naruto shrugged and said no more. Okay. After all the gossip, it's almost time to get down to business. Business. Everyone didn't know why. Naruto landed on the ground, formed a seal with his hands, and slammed the ground, summoning technique. Boom. White fog exploded. Another huge creature appeared behind Naruto. This is. Everyone was shocked. Outside, Geto statue. Madara's pupils shrank sharply and she lost her composure for a moment. Where does this Geto statue come from? Why is there another Geto statue? Madara couldn't believe her eyes. All this time, Madara has only known that there is only one 10 tails in the world, which means there is only one Geto statue. However, now, another Geto statue appears, which somewhat subverts Madara's cognition and makes him completely confused. Madara couldn't help but look at the 10 tails at her feet. 10 tails is still there, not lost. The question is, where did Naruto get the Geto statue? Geto statue. Obito couldn't keep his numb expression and looked at the Geto statue behind Naruto in disbelief. Is this a Geto statue? Why is there a Geto statue? Where did Naruto get the soft Geto statue? Everyone in the coalition army was also confused. The appearance of a Geto statue would have exceeded everyone's psychological endurance limit. The result was good. Another Geto statue appeared, which was incredible. What the hell is going on? Hashirama, Tobirama, Minato, Kushina, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kakashi and everyone else stared at Naruto. Madara and Obito also stared at Naruto. It's a long story. I'll explain it to you slowly in the future. I'm resurrected 10 tails. Naruto turned to look at Minato and said with a smile, Dad, let me use the yin in you 9 tails. Naruto controlled the Geto statue and spit out a fluorescent chakra chain from the golem's mouth. The chakra chain instantly penetrated Minato's body, pulling out the yin 9 tails from Minato's body. Kid, what are you doing? Yin 9 tails roared angrily. It stayed quietly in Minato's body, watching the show well, but ended up seeing it on his head. It was quite sudden. I will borrow my half-body from you for a while, and I will release it to you when I am done. The 9 tails in Naruto's body immediately soothed the yin 9 tails. Forehead. Yin 9 tails was startled and said half-believingly, Half-length, are you telling the truth? Don't fool me. You are me, and I am you. If I lie to you, wouldn't I just lie to myself? 9 tails said angrily, Okay, stop talking nonsense and cooperate well. I will let you out after the war is over. Half-length, you must keep your word. Yin 9 tails still believes in Yang 9 tails. After all, we are a human being. We can't deceive ourselves, right? Yin 9 tails stopped resisting and allowed himself to be dragged into the Geto statue by the chains, completing the seal. As the 9 tails chakra was completed, Geto statue opened his eyes with a ferocious expression and began to recover. Naruto had a look of anticipation and excitement on his face. He had been preparing for it for so long, and the day had finally arrived. In full view, Naruto made a seal. It was the 6 Paths Dao School seal. In an instant, Geto statue's huge body poured into Naruto's body like a baby swallow returning to its nest. In the blink of an eye, the Geto statue completely poured into Naruto's body and disappeared without a trace. Naruto's body also changed accordingly. The hair quietly turns white. Immortal robes appeared on the body surface. 6 black magatama appeared on the neckline, and black magatama also appeared on the cuffs, skirt, and back. 9 truth-seeking balls are automatically generated behind him, and a black 6 Paths tin staff appears in his hand. This 6 Paths tin staff is different from 6 Paths Obito's sun staff, and it is also different from 6 Paths Madara's moon staff. It is a combination of both sides, with the sun on one end and the moon on the other, which is the same as the tin staff of Sage of 6 Paths. At this moment, Naruto completed Sage transformation. The whole process was extremely smooth, without any obstacles, just like it happened naturally. Naruto felt the changes in his body. Very strong. Too strong. This is not simply an increase in strength, but also faster speed, enhanced defense, and stronger perception. But, a leap in life level, the whole person seems to be completely transformed and becomes a completely different person. It is like mastering the principles of all things, being able to control all phenomena, and understanding the true meaning of the world. No wonder Obito thought it was impossible for the Ninja Alliance to defeat him after he became Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Naruto sighed inwardly. Indeed, this kind of transformation can only be understood by experiencing it personally. Naruto felt the changes in his body carefully, but everyone around him was completely stunned. This is... Ah, Naruto, how did it become like this? What happened? Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Did Naruto become Ten Tails Jinchuriki? This is Ten Tails Jinchuriki. That's wrong. Naruto clearly didn't collect all 9-tailed beasts, so why did he become Ten Tails Jinchuriki? Yeah, he only got half of 9 tails. Everyone looked incredulous, shocked, confused, incomprehensible. All kinds of emotions filled everyone's hearts. Naruto has become just like Sage of Six Paths. Madara stared at Naruto. This guy actually turned into Ten Tails Jinchuriki before me. Madara's mood was extremely complicated, including envy, jealousy, shock, and a little eagerness. Madara knew very well that Naruto became Ten Tails Jinchuriki and had gained power comparable to the Sage of Six Paths. I am definitely no match for him. If you want to compete with Naruto, you must also become Ten Tails Jinchuriki and gain the same power. Otherwise, once Naruto adapts to the power, it will be difficult for him to become Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Naruto will definitely stop it. With this in mind, Madara glanced at Obito beside her and prepared to activate the spell to control Obito. Snapped. A truth-seeking ball suddenly flew over and hit Madara's hand, smashing Madara's hands into pieces and causing dust to fly. Madara looked up in shock and saw the truth-seeking ball flying towards Naruto, flying behind Naruto and levitating. Madara, you want to control Obito and let him activate the Rinne Tensei technique to help you resurrect. Naruto looked at Madara with a mocking look on his face. Then you can absorb 10 tails and become 10 tails Jinchuriki, right? Do you think I'll let you have your wish? Naruto doesn't have Chunabu. He will not be like some middle school boys who deliberately turn into Madara Six Paths in order to create opponents for themselves. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. This world is enough for you to have one Six Paths level, there is no room for a second Six Paths level. Naruto, I'm curious. Madara stared at Naruto and asked, where did you get your Geto statue? Madara will not give up easily, even if Naruto becomes the second Sage of Six Paths, much stronger than him. He will not give up easily, he will truly be resurrected and become the Sage of Six Paths. But he needed to stall for time, waiting for his hands to recover. Only when your hands are restored can you continue to operate. Want to delay? Then drag it on. Naruto saw through Madara's intention and couldn't help but smile. I told Naoshin during the Five Shadows conference. Kagaya is an alien from outer space, and her purpose is to plant sacred trees, right? That's what you said. Obito didn't deny it, staring at Naruto. Then let me say something different today. Naruto looked at Madara and smiled. Out there is an alien race called the Otsutsuki clan. This race plants sacred trees everywhere and uses the sacred trees to collect the natural energy on the planet to harvest chakra fruits. And 10 tails. Are the saplings of the sacred tree. What? 10 tails are sacred tree saplings. One stone stirs up 1,000 waves. Naruto's words set off a storm in everyone's hearts, making everyone's heads buzz. In everyone's perception, 10 tails is a huge collection of chakra, a monster that brings great disaster to the ninja world. Who would have thought that such a terrifying guy is just a sapling of a sacred tree? What a joke. Naruto, are you kidding? Onoki couldn't help but look at 10 tails and asked, this thing doesn't look like a tree sapling. That's because you don't understand 10 tails. Naruto shook his head slightly. 10 tails has a total of 4 forms, and the sacred tree is the final form of 10 tails. You can ask 8 tails about this. As a tailed beast, I think 8 tails should know best. Everyone looked at Killer Bee in unison. 8 tails confirmed Naruto's statement. Naruto is right, the sacred tree is indeed the final form of 10 tails. It is unknown whether 10 tails is a sapling of the sacred tree or not, and 8 tails. But every form of 10 tails, 8 tails is clear. Naruto looked at Madara and continued. The Otsutsuki clan is a very large clan. They plant the fruits of the sacred tree everywhere to absorb the natural energy of the planet, chakra. 10 tails is a tool used by the Otsutsuki clan to collect chakra. Do you think there is only one 10 tails in the world? Madara and Obito were silent. Others were also lost in thought. Indeed, if it's true what Naruto said, the Otsutsuki clan plants sacred trees everywhere and collects chakra fruits, so there cannot be only one 10 tails. Just like a fruit farmer planting fruit trees, who would plant just one fruit tree? Isn't this nonsense? Naruto, what evidence do you have to prove what you said? Who knows if you were an alarmist? Madara couldn't help but ask. Evidence? Naruto looked at Madara as if he were an idiot. There are 2 10 tails here, isn't that evidence? His 10 tails was drawn by lottery, but it is undeniable that there is another 10 tails in the ninja world. In the hands of Otsutsuki Ashiki. Where Otsutsuki hid the 10 tails, Naruto didn't know for the time being. But it is an indisputable fact that there are 2 10 tails in the ninja world. Madara was speechless. He had to admit that Naruto's words did make sense. The 2 10 tails are the best evidence. At least this proves that 10 tails is not the only one. After talking about the relationship between 10 tails and the sacred tree, let's talk about Otsutsuki Kagaya. Naruto continued. Kagaya is also from the Otsutsuki clan. Her purpose of coming to the ninja world is to plant the sacred tree. Naruto said. With a slight tap of the tin stick in his hand, the chakra quickly condensed, creating an image of Kagaya. After becoming 10 tails Jinchuriki, Naruto automatically mastered partial yin-yang dun, or in other words, incomplete yin-yang dun. With the help of yin-yang escape, Naruto can turn the things in his imagination into reality. If you inject life energy, you can turn imaginary things into living things. This is the technique of creating all things. This is how the 9-headed tailed beast came to be. Naruto is currently unable to do this because his mastery of yin-yang release is incomplete. But making Kagaya's impact is easy. Is this Kagaya? Everyone looked at Kagaya's image. Ched, I told you before. Naruto continued. The roots of the sacred tree will penetrate deeply into all parts of the planet and absorb all the natural energy on the planet. In the end, all life on the planet will die. If the sacred tree is allowed to absorb it, our ninja world will also become a dead planet. In this case, Kagaya's 2 sons, Hagoromo and Hamura, took action to stop Kagaya. Because Kagaya ate the fruit of the sacred tree, he is immortal and can only be sealed but cannot be killed. So, Kagaya was sealed by his 2 sons using planetary devastation, and became the moon. Naruto looked up at the moon in the sky and sighed. As of now, Kagaya is still on the moon. She is immortal, and possesses the ultimate power. To Kagaya, our ninja world is just a nursery for planting sacred trees. And to Kagaya, we ninjas are just scattered chakra. Everyone couldn't help but look up at the sky and the moon. Hard to imagine. The moon is actually a planetary devastation created for the Sage of 6 Paths to seal Kagaya. It's incredible. Obito, I told you before, the true function of infinite Tsukuyomi is to unify the scattered chakra. Naruto looked at Obito again. And its real purpose is to break the seal and resurrect Kagaya, right? Madara was shocked, with a look of astonishment on her face. Infinite Tsukuyomi's true purpose is to resurrect Kagaya. Why is this completely different from what he interpreted from the stone tablet? You said so, Obito said, but what you said, you. There is a big discrepancy between what is recorded on the Zebo stone tablet. Good, Madara also said. That stone tablet records that infinite Tsukuyomi is an illusion that brings happiness to people. Instead of what you said about gathering chakra and resurrecting Kagaya, Naruto, you are talking nonsense. Naruto laughed, couldn't help but shook his head, and said mockingly, you're really stupid. Naruto grabbed a stone out of thin air, and as his thoughts flashed, the stone fragments fell one after another, turning into a stone tablet. Naruto stretched out a finger and wrote something out of thin air, and the word Sage of 6 Paths appeared on the stone tablet. Naruto then stretched out his hand again and continued writing. This time, Sage of 6 Paths became Otsutsuki Kagaya. Everyone looked at Naruto's operation. Everyone was not a fool and immediately understood what Naruto meant. Naruto, are you saying that someone secretly changed the contents of that stone tablet? Kakashi continued. Good. Naruto snapped his fingers, looked at Madara and the leader and said, that stone tablet has indeed been tampered with. The original intention of Sage of Six Paths leaving that stone tablet was to warn future generations not to resurrect 10 tails and activate infinite Tsukuyomi, otherwise, the seal will be broken and Kagaya will be resurrected. But it's a pity that this stone tablet was tampered with by a rat hiding in the gutter. The good intentions of Sage of Six Paths have also been maliciously misinterpreted. The infinite Tsukuyomi that resurrected Kagaya is said to be a genjutsu that brings happiness to people. It's simply ridiculous. So that's what happened. I didn't expect that the stone tablet had been tampered with. Let me just say, how can an illusion that pulls everyone into the illusion world bring happiness? Isn't this nonsense? That's it. It's unreliable no matter how you look at it. Elusive happiness has no meaning at all. If it could really bring happiness, Sage of Six Paths would have activated infinite Tsukuyomi long ago. Why wait until now? Indeed, with the ability of Sage of Six Paths, it should be enough to activate infinite Tsukuyomi. Who tampered with the stone tablet? Could they be Kagaya's remnants? Probably. Everyone in the coalition thought Naruto's words were very reasonable. No one in their right mind would agree with infinite Tsukuyomi. This thing is unreliable at first sight. It just so happens that Uchiha's stone tablet records that infinite Tsukuyomi can bring happiness to people. This is very contradictory. It would make sense if the stone tablet was secretly altered. Naruto, are you saying that someone deliberately tampered with the stone tablet in order to resurrect Kagaya? Obito stared at Naruto, almost losing control. His mentality is about to collapse again. During the last 5-cage meeting, Naruto's words caused Obito's mentality to collapse and his belief to collapse. After finally transplanting Rinnegan and rereading the stone tablet, I regained my faith and continued to implement the plan. It's better now. Naruto actually told him that the stone tablet had been tampered with. Doesn't this mean that the plan he has been following is completely a wrong script written by others? Obito, you were deceived. Naruto shook his head and sighed. Actually, both you and Madara are just other people's pawns. It's just a pawn to resurrect Kagaya. And the Uchiha family's stone tablet is a script written for you by others. You are being taken advantage of. Script, chess pieces. Obito lost control of his emotions and muttered to himself, in other words, everything is fake, fake. Obito's belief is easily shaken, but Madara's will is firm and not so easily broken. He looked at Naruto with a sneer. The story you told is wonderful, but, where is the evidence? What evidence do you have that the stone tablet has been tampered with? We have been used. The evidence. The corners of Naruto's mouth quirked up. The evidence is here. Naruto suddenly stepped on the ground, and with a rumble and explosion, the ground exploded like a fountain. A figure spurted out from the ground and fell to the ground. Everyone immediately looked at this person. His body was black on one side and white on the other. He was a member of the Akatsuki organization. Absolutely. Madara frowned at the man. Call out. Naruto threw truth-seeking ball one after another. The truth-seeking ball turned into a black rod and pinned Zetsu's body, making it unable to move or escape. Asshole. Black Zetsu roared angrily. Old filial son, come and tell us, is what I said before true or false? Naruto smiled and looked at Black Zetsu. Swish, swish, swish. Everyone looked at Black Zetsu. Naruto, are you saying that this guy is the guy who tampered with the Uchiha monument in an attempt to resurrect Kagaya? Onoki asked. Naruto. Madara sneered and mocked. Black Zetsu was created by me, a product of my will. You said it changed the Uchiha monument. That's nonsense, a bunch of nonsense. Madara has always believed that Black Zetsu is the incarnation of her will, and she firmly believes in this. Because Black Zetsu has obeyed Madara's words since he was created, and has never violated Madara's will. Over time, Madara has completely regarded Black Zetsu as the embodiment of her own will. You are the kind of person who won't shed tears until he sees the coffin. Naruto was too lazy to talk to Madara and turned to look at Black Zetsu. Old dutiful son, you can fool Madara, but you can't fool me. I know all your secrets, all your plans, all the things you have done for thousands of years. Tell you, as long as I am here, you will never succeed. No, you have no chance. Naruto looked at Black Zetsu with a smile. Today, I will kill you completely and make you disappear forever. The drama, Black Zetsu Saves Her Mother, that you directed can officially come to an end. Black Zetsu is in complete despair. It has lived for thousands of years and experienced various setbacks. Forbearance, perseverance. The city is quite deep. The will cannot be said to be weak. But Black Zetsu has never been more desperate. Too suddenly. It was really too sudden. Black Zetsu couldn't even figure out why he was exposed. All this time, it has been hiding behind the scenes, planning and acting secretly, and has never been exposed to the public. Therefore, no one has ever known its true identity, nor its secrets, nor its plans. But at this moment, all its secrets and all its plans were revealed by Naruto. Black Zetsu was exposed to the sun for the first time, and its secrets were revealed openly for the first time. Black Zetsu knew that he was completely out of luck. It has no combat effectiveness and its defense is ridiculously weak. Whereas Naruto, it has been transformed into 6 paths and has a power close to that of Sage of 6 Paths. Naruto can crush it with one finger. Even though it was Black Zetsu's castle, his mentality was completely broken. It became hysterical. Why? Why do you know all this? Why on earth? After thousands of years of planning and planning countless times, Black Zetsu has never been so close to success. Rinnegan already has it. 10 Tails is also resurrected. Next, as long as Infinite Tsukuyomi is activated, it will be done, and Mother Kagaya will be completely resurrected. But Black Zetsu never expected that he would fall in the last step, and lose the key point inexplicably. Black Zetsu is very dissatisfied. Black Zetsu's words are equivalent to admitting his identity. The expressions of everyone present suddenly changed, and they all looked at Black Zetsu. Madara, in particular, looked like she had seen a ghost. Black Zetsu, what are you talking about? Madara asked loudly. Is everything Naruto just said true? Obito also came back to his senses and looked at Black Zetsu in shock. Black Zetsu, is he really the culprit who dominates everything? Hey, Madara. Black Zetsu looked at Madara with a mocking expression. Naruto is right, you are indeed my pawn, you have been played by me all the time. The stone tablet left by Yuya was indeed made by me. The infinite Tsukuyomi who resurrected my mother was changed by me into a way to save Uchiha. You, the Uchiha clan, didn't know anything about this, and your cooperation was excellent. For thousands of years, I have approached the reincarnations of Indra and Ashura again and again, trying to inspire the Rinnegan. But it failed again and again. It took me thousands of years just to execute these steps. It wasn't until the reincarnations became Madara, you and Hashirama that I was finally convinced that you had the ability to do it. In fact, you did a great job and successfully opened Rinnegan. After that, I deliberately disguised myself as your will, manipulated Obito, and started the plan to recover the tailed beasts. I also prompted the Akatsuki to establish and led them towards war. In order to enhance my combat effectiveness, I also deliberately let Kabuto discover your body because Obito provided help. Hey, Madara. You have always been a pawn in my hand. If it weren't for Naruto, you would have been kept in the dark until your death. Listening to Black Zetsu's narration, everyone's scalps were numb and a chill ran through their bones. In order to resurrect Kagaya, Indra and Ashura were encouraged to reincarnate again and again for thousands of years. For this reason, he even did not hesitate to start a war, manipulate ninjas, and put the entire ninja world into dire straits. What a sinister wolf. But with such a sinister person hiding next to them, who wouldn't be frightened? Who wouldn't be chilled? Black Zetsu. Madara's mentality collapsed. He stared at Black Zetsu, his voice radiating coldness to the bone. So, the so-called infinite Tsukuyomi, who brings happiness to people, is a complete conspiracy. Of course it's a conspiracy. Black Zetsu completely broke the pot. The function of infinite Tsukuyomi is to gather a large amount of scattered chakra together in order to resurrect my mother Kagaya. It's not the so-called illusion that brings happiness to people. Hehe, I lied to you. It's ridiculous, Madara. You are so smart that you actually take illusions seriously. Madara, you are really hopeless. What about the person who got hit by infinite Tsukuyomi? Obito suddenly asked. I remember Naruto said that people who are hit by infinite Tsukuyomi will eventually become White Zetsu. Is this true? When everyone heard this, they immediately pricked up their ears. Naruto did say this during the Five Shadows meeting, but everyone was dubious at the time and didn't quite believe it. It is true. Black Zetsu admitted openly. After Madara opened Rinnegan in her later years, she summoned Geto statue. He used Geto statue to cultivate Hashirama meat in an attempt to gain immortality. In the process, he accidentally obtained a monster, which is White Zetsu. In fact, White Zetsu was not created by Madara at all, but by the people who once fell into infinite Tsukuyomi. After a long period of transformation, the sacred tree will slowly transform these people into Sunju. Sure enough, it is so. Obito slowly closed his eyes, no more doubts in his mind. Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu. Madara was so angry that she was trembling all over, gnashing her teeth, her eyes were red, and her gaze seemed to kill someone. Madara does want to kill someone. He thinks very highly of himself and never puts anyone else in his eyes except Hashirama. In his eyes, everyone in the world is like an ant. But who would have thought that Madara would be toyed with by a mere Black Zetsu, and allowed to be played by Black Zetsu? How does the always proud Madara accept this? This fool. Tsunade glared at Black Zetsu. For your own selfish interests, you are willing to start a war and treat human life as nothing, you deserve to die. The others also stared angrily, wishing to tear Black Zetsu alive to vent their hatred. You ninjas are just playthings in my hands. Black Zetsu sneered again and again. Even the history of ninjas was created by me. Besides, if it weren't for these two evil sons, Hagoromo and Hamura, the ninja world would be nothing more than a mother's nursery. Puff. A long black sword instantly penetrated Black Zetsu's head, splitting Black Zetsu in half from top to bottom. Uzumaki Naruto, you. Black Zetsu roared. Your mission has been completed and you can leave. Naruto wielded the truth-seeking ball sword and chopped Black Zetsu into countless pieces, and then used the truth-seeking ball to burn Black Zetsu into nothingness. Black Zetsu. Die. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief. Black Zetsu is dead, and there is no hope of Kagaya's complete resurrection. Next, I just need to develop with peace of mind. Naruto knew that although he had entered the Six Paths level, he was still far behind the big boss, Kagaya. Kagaya is immortal and immortal. He is far from being able to do this. He will have to die once the 100 years are up. Like Sage of Six Paths. Therefore, I still have a long way to go. This disgusting guy is finally dead. It's so easy to hide behind your back and stir up trouble, stir up countless disputes, and just die like this. That's right. An evil fool like this deserves all the torture in the world. Everyone was relieved to see Black Zetsu die. Black Zetsu can be said to be the culprit of the Fourth Ninja War and the driving force behind Kagaya's resurrection. Now that it dies, it means that all disputes will be completely ended, and the ninja world will usher in true peace. It's your turn next. Naruto turned to look at Ten Tails. Ten Tails behaved very quietly after becoming Ten Tails Jinchuriki, like a quail seeing a cat. It can be seen that although this guy has no intelligence and his IQ is not high, he is also instinctively afraid. However, it's useless no matter how quiet you are. Naruto waved the Six Paths tin staff in his hand, condensing it into a long sword, and pointed it at Nita. Roar. Ten Tails seemed to be threatened, let out a low roar, and opened his mouth to release a tailed beast bomb. It's quite arrogant, Naruto sneered. Forget it. Let me test my current strength with you. Naruto switched his eyes to the Eternal Mangekyo and directly opened the full-body Susanoo. Boom. A huge Susanoo, whose size was not inferior to Ten Tails, appeared in front of everyone. Everyone looked shocked when they saw this Susanoo. Is this Susanoo too? Madara's eyes were glazed over. His perfect Susanoo is like a mountain peak, but Naruto's Susanoo is no smaller than Ten Tails. What makes Madara most unbelievable is that Naruto's Susanoo has almost become a reality. Armor, swords, wings, just like physical objects, chakra is almost physical. Boom. The tailed beast bomb tore the earth apart and struck with a power that destroyed everything, seeming to blast Susanoo into dust. Faced with such an attack, Naruto actually just raised his palm and blocked the tailed beast bomb. Boom. The invincible tailed beast bomb was blocked directly after hitting Susanoo's right hand. The violent energy was bounced around, forming splashing chakra beams that shot in all directions. Boom boom boom. The mountain peaks were blasted into powder, large holes were torn out of the earth, and the woods were burned to ashes. The earth trembled violently, and the whole world seemed to be doomed. The sky was dark and the earth was dark, and the sun and moon had no light. Just the aftermath has such destructive power. If we are accidentally involved, we will definitely die without a burial place. Please be vigilant. The battle between the Sage of Six Paths brothers and their mother Kagaya back then was probably nothing more than this. Seeing the destructive power caused by the aftermath of the tailed beast bomb, everyone turned pale and trembled with fear. After blocking the tailed beast bomb with one hand, Naruto flapped his wings, jumped into the air, and slashed down with the sword in his hand. After entering the Six Paths level, Naruto's attributes have undergone earth-shaking changes. Rinnegan, Sage of Six Paths Immortal Technique, Yin-Yang Escape Technique, Truth-Seeking Ball, etc. Any one of them can defeat 10 Tails. But Naruto doesn't want to use other abilities. It's like he used the simplest force to beat up 10 Tails. Cut. The long sword slashed down. At the critical moment, 10 Tails instinctively blocked it with his right arm, but was cut off easily. Naruto fell in front of 10 Tails, grabbed 10 Tails' neck with his left hand, and violently lifted it up by his chest. 10 Tails struggled violently, leaving 3 legs and 10 Tails, and beat Susanoo wildly. Naruto ignored it and let 10 Tails beat him. He thrust his right hand into 10 Tails' mouth and pulled hard. Crash! A large amount of chakra was pulled out by Naruto. As soon as this chakra appears, it splits into 9 strands and condenses into the shape of a 9-headed tailed beast. 8 tails and 9 tails are the smallest, 1 tail is slightly larger, and the remaining 6 tailed beasts are about the same size. Come out! Naruto tugged hard. The 9-tailed beasts were completely pulled out, and after falling to the ground, they transformed into tailed beasts. No, it's Kido. 8 tails chakra condenses into an octopus leg. 9 tails chakra condenses into a ball of red fox. Tailed beast. Naruto actually pulled the 9-tailed beast out of 10 tails. It's incredible. Great. Without the tailed beast chakra, Tao is just an empty shell again. This is indeed the case. As the 9-tailed beast was pulled out, 10 tails immediately shrank and returned to its ghetto statue form. Six Paths Planetary Devastation. Naruto clapped his hands together. The ground rumbled and shook. Ghetto statue immediately took off and flew towards the sky. At the same time, a large amount of rocks and soil were pulled and squeezed towards ghetto statue. Bang bang bang. In just a few moments, an extremely huge meteorite was suspended in the sky, floating quietly. Everyone stared at this scene blankly, their eyes full of horror. Is this the power of Sage of Six Paths? 2.2 strong. It has completely exceeded our imagination. Is this how Sage of Six Paths sealed Otsutsuki Kagaya? It's so shocking. The arrogant 10 Tails was sealed so easily. Incredible. Unbelievable. Naruto's power is completely comparable to that of Sage of Six Paths. Madara's eyes were burning with envy. Madara is a very contradictory person. He hates chakra because chakra amplifies human struggles and makes war larger. But he also longs for power, because without power he will lose everything and the people closest to him. He wishes to create peace, a world without chakra, without losers, only winners and love. But he doesn't believe in human nature and thinks that he is the key to bring order to chaos, so he uses ruthless methods and acts unscrupulously, provoking wars in the ninja world and treating the lives of ninjas as gravel. Naruto's previous words shattered Madara's dream. To this end, Madara's mentality has indeed collapsed, and she is completely confused. But now seeing the power displayed by Naruto, Madara suddenly thought of another way to achieve peace. Possessing absolutely powerful power that surpasses the entire ninja world, and then guides the entire world with his own will. If I also have such power, the entire ninja world will surrender to me, including the 5 avenues. In that case, if I guide the world, I can completely eliminate war and achieve true peace. Naruto didn't know that the power he showed by beating up 10 Tails made Madara regain her confidence and change her thinking. After sealing the ghetto statue, Naruto turned to look at the 9-headed tailed beast that was pulled out. Naruto reached out and grabbed it, sucked the chakra belonging to 9 Tails into his body, and recovered it. This 9 Tails chakra was originally eaten by Jin Zhao and Yin Zhao, and the quantity was not large. But it cannot be left to scatter in the outside world. Afterwards, Naruto asked Killer Bee to collect the 8 tails chakra, and then looked at the 7-tailed beast. You are free, what are your plans next? You want to let us go? The 7-tailed beasts looked at Naruto in shock. They could feel that Naruto at this time was almost as powerful as Sage of 6 Paths back then. If Naruto wanted to deal with them tailed beasts, they would have no resistance at all. And they are tailed beasts, a collection of chakra. In theory, Naruto has no reason to let them go. Absorbing them, Naruto will become stronger. What, do you still want to be pets and be sealed in a human body like before? Naruto looked at the tailed beasts with a half smile. Of course not. The second tail, Matabi, shook his head quickly. It looked ferocious, but its voice was very gentle. It's just that you humans covet the power of our tailed beasts. I don't believe you will really let us go. It seems that you have been persecuted too severely by humans and have completely lost trust in humans. Naruto shook his head. Forget it, let Kurama tell you, it should be easier for you to believe what he says. Naruto released 9 tails from his body. Jinchuriki will die if he loses his tailed beast. But not Naruto. Since he is 10 tails Jinchuriki, losing 9 tails now will not threaten his life. Naruto released 9 tails. Kurama. The tailed beasts immediately looked towards 9 tails. 9 tails. Everyone also looked at 9 tails. It was the first time for many of them to see the true face of 9 tails. Hey, Kurama bared his teeth, looked at the tailed beasts and mocked. You were in such a mess before, being beaten by a human and unable to fight back. It's such an embarrassment to us tailed beasts. Smelly fox, stop talking sarcastically. Shukaku was unhappy and said directly, where were you when we were bullied? Aren't you hiding inside Jinchuriki? If you come out, you'll be no better than us. Kurama, you were so scared from the beginning to the end that you didn't dare to come out, so you still have the nerve to mock us. 4 Tails Sun Wukong hummed. But then again, your Jinchuriki does have some skills. 4 Tails looked at Naruto. He feels exactly the same to me now as the old man did back then. Of course. Kurama looked proud, but said something shocking. Naruto is the reincarnation of the old man. Forehead. Is he the reincarnation of the old man? Kurama, are you kidding me? The tailed beasts were all surprised, and everyone present felt incredible, and couldn't help but look at Naruto. It's a long story. I'll explain it to you in detail when I have time. Kurama is an arrogant person and is unwilling to say too many words. In short, Naruto is different from other humans. He truly treats us tailed beasts as friends. So, you can believe what he says. Kurama, are you serious? The tailed beasts were all a little excited. How dare you question me? 9 Tails shouted with an unhappy look on his face. When did I, Kurama, lie to you? 2. Smelly fox, although you are arrogant and have a bad temper, your words are still trustworthy. Smelly Tanuki, do you want to fight? Smelly fox, do you think I'm afraid of you? Okay, Kurama and Shukaku, stop arguing. Don't let humans see the joke. Seeing that 9 Tails and 1 Tail were fighting again, Orway quickly smoothed things over and spoke out to dissuade them. Only then did 9 Tails and 1 Tail stop. The second tail looked at Naruto and asked softly, Naruto, what are you going to do with us? The other tailed beasts looked at Naruto. Naruto is now 10 Tails Jinchuriki, and has gained a calendar area comparable to that of Sage of 6 Paths. How to deal with them depends entirely on Naruto's will. After this war, I believe that major ninja villages will generally not break out of war easily. Naruto looked at the 5 shadows and smiled. Even if a conflict breaks out, the tailed beasts cannot be used. So you are free and can go wherever you want. I will strictly prohibit humans from disturbing you. You can live where you like with peace of mind. Accordingly, you cannot harm humans or attack humans at will. Of course, if someone covets your power, you have the right to self-defense. Having said this, Naruto looked at Tsunade and the other 5 cages and asked with a smile, is it okay? The 5 shadows looked at each other and agreed. First Hokage-sama distributed the tailed beasts back then in order to balance the strength of each village so as not to start the war easily. Onoki sighed, but the result is that the tailed beasts' participation in the war caused even greater casualties. If we can do what Naruto said and ban tailed beasts from participating in wars in the future, I completely agree. Hashirama sighed. This was indeed his original intention, but the result was not as expected. Through this war, our 5 major ninja villages have reached a preliminary reconciliation and established a certain degree of friendship. Gaara said, if a conflict breaks out in the future, I believe everyone can sit down and negotiate. Solve problems and eliminate conflicts through consultation, rather than resorting to violent means. Reikage, Tsunade and Terumi may also agree. The war has brought nothing to this world except leaving a pile of chicken feathers. The 4th Ninja War proved that many problems can be solved through negotiation. Especially after this war, the major ninja villages worked together and established a deep bond with each other. This lays a good foundation for peace. After receiving the confirmation from the 5 shadows, the tailed beasts were extremely excited. Very good. I'm finally free now. Uzumaki Naruto, thank you. I want to go back to Shuiliandong. I decided to live in seclusion in the forest. Can we finally return to our hometown? It's so dreamy, it feels like a dream. The tailed beasts were very happy and confided their wishes to each other. Listening to their conversation, everyone can feel that the hearts of these tailed beasts are actually very simple. They are not as ferocious as people imagine, and they will not cause disasters to humans at every turn. Their wish is very simple. They want to return to their hometown and live peacefully. Their demands are actually simpler than humans. Then it's settled. Naruto smiled and nodded. From now on, you just stay in your hometown and don't cause trouble. Human beings will not bother you. The world is such a big place and I believe we can coexist peacefully. Uzumaki Naruto, you are such a good person. I also feel now that you are indeed the reincarnation of the old man from 6 Paths. You look so much like him. Uzumaki Naruto, thank you. The tailed beasts were very grateful and thanked Naruto from the bottom of their hearts. Because of the Sage of 6 Paths, their tailed beasts didn't actually reject humans at first. But humans covet the power of the tailed beasts and try every means to deal with them and seal them. This also gradually exhausted the patience of the tailed beasts towards humans, which is why they hate humans so much. Let's live a good life from now on, but there is one thing I have to remind you, don't be careless. Naruto said suddenly. What's up? The tailed beasts looked at Naruto confused. The Otsutsuki clan will never give up. Naruto said slowly. This race naturally likes to collect chakra, and everyone in our ninja world practices chakra. There's a huge collection of chakra like you tailed beasts, and there's me, the 10 tails Jinchuriki. It is no exaggeration to say that our ninja world has a fatal attraction for the Otsutsuki clan. I have a hunch. In the future, there will definitely be other Otsutsuki coming to our world and continuing what Kagaya did back then. What? Other Otsutsuki come to the ninja world? Is it possible? Naruto's words were like a basin of cold water poured directly on everyone's heads, making everyone feel cold. One Otsutsuki Kagaya, no, one Black Zetsu, turned the ninja world upside down. If a few more Otsutsuki come, who can bear it? Naruto, are you serious? Hashirama asked. Can't go wrong. Naruto shook his head. I learned from some sources that the Otsutsuki clan planted sacred trees and collected chakra fruits. And the fruits they collect need to be offered as offerings, and you can't take them privately. But Kagaya broke this rule. She took the chakra fruit privately and stopped offering it. If you were the leadership of the Otsutsuki clan, what would you do? Naruto asked. Is this even necessary to ask? They must have sent someone to investigate the situation, then arrest Kagaya and bring him back to the headquarters for trial. Everyone looked solemn and their hearts were heavy. If it is true as Naruto said, then the Otsutsuki clan will definitely send people to the ninja world to investigate the situation. In that case, there will inevitably be another disturbance. Thinking that the Otsutsuki clan are all monsters like Kagaya, everyone feels their spine growing. It can be seen that the Otsutsuki clan is likely to come to the ninja world again and bring uncontrollable disasters. Naruto said slowly. No one can let down their guard, be careful when they should, and practice when they should practice. One word. The great ninja war is over, but that doesn't mean the world is at peace and you can lie down as you like. We are likely to face more powerful enemies in the future, enemies that even Kagaya is afraid of. In order to have the power to protect ourselves, everyone must practice hard and strive to become stronger. Everyone nodded silently, because most of the joy brought by winning the 4th ninja war has dissipated. The threat of the Otsutsuki clan is like a sharp sword, hanging in everyone's mind, making it difficult for people to sleep or eat. Actually, the world is very big. Naruto looked up at the starry sky with deep eyes. We will never know how many lives the vast starry sky has given birth to, and how many races like the Otsutsuki. So, as the strongest people in the ninja world, we can't always focus on petty gains. Today we fight for a piece of land, tomorrow we fight for a river, and the day after tomorrow we get beaten to death over a sum of money. No need. That's not necessary. If you really think you are capable, just like the Otsutsuki clan, go grab other planets. If you can grab a planet and dominate the mountain and become the king, then that's your real skill. Fighting in the old nest, what? Everyone was shocked and looked at the stars. It's almost dawn now, and the stars in the sky are particularly bright. The sky is full of stars and the stars are shining brightly. Naruto's words touched everyone greatly. In the past, ninjas fought fiercely in this 3/3 of the ninja world because of various interests. Now think about it, why bother? The universe is so big, there are so many planets, and there are large tracts of land, so there are a lot of resources. If possible, I really want to visit other planets. Maybe there will be another scenery. Hashirama couldn't help but yearn for it. Yes. Madara also looked up at the stars. Naruto's words touched him even more, and he suddenly realized that his previous vision was too small. Just focusing on this small area of the ninja world and thinking about infinite Tsukuyomi every day, it is really out of order. Look at Naruto, his eyes have been set on the vast starry sky, and the pattern is more than a star and a half higher than his own. Besides the Otsutsuki clan, there must be many other races in this world, right? Tobirama was fascinated. I really want to see it. As long as you are strong enough, you will definitely have a chance. Naruto's eyes flashed. Naruto didn't want to unify the ninja world, he had no interest at all. Compared to the little power in the ninja world, Naruto desires strength more. Desire to be immortal and immortal like Kagaya. And Naruto knows one thing very well, he is 10 Tails Jinchuriki and possesses the largest chakra in the ninja world. In the future, he will definitely become the #1 harvest target of the Otsutsuki clan, and he is destined to have no peace. Therefore, it is necessary to improve the actual. Increase your power to the point where you are not afraid of the Otsutsuki clan. You two are the only ones left now. Naruto looked at Obito and Madara and said calmly, "Tell me, what should I do with you?" Everyone couldn't help but look at Obito and Madara, with hatred and hostility in their eyes. It was these two guys who turned the ninja world upside down, devastated all lives, and caused countless ninjas to die in battle. The hatred is too great. Madara and Obito were silent. The former has a complex expression. The latter looked numb and confused. After many years of planning, I never expected to get such a result. I am so convinced that I lost. Madara sighed and looked at first generation. Hashirama, you are just like me, you don't get what you ask for. How can it be so easy? Hashirama smiled bitterly. When we are alive, what we can do is limited. That's why we need to train the younger generations, entrust our dreams to them, and let them complete it for us. You are still so naive. Madara sighed deeply and joked. Maybe, this is right. Having said this, Madara looked at Naruto and said, Uzumaki Naruto, your vision is broader than mine, your outlook is higher than mine, and you can see farther than I do. I am totally convinced if I lose to someone like you. I'm just a little sorry. Madara sighed. I can't see the Otsutsuki clan, nor can I see more magnificent scenery. If that's all, you can rest assured. Naruto smiled lightly. When the Otsutsuki clan invades in the future, I can summon you. At that time, you can meet the Otsutsuki clan and even fight with them. That's great. Madara was shocked, and then smiled happily. Uzumaki Naruto, thank you. As soon as he finished speaking, white light bloomed from Madara's body, her soul flew up, and the dust on her body scattered. Hashirama, goodbye. Madara finally said goodbye to her old friend. Madara, goodbye. Hashirama looked at his old friend lovingly. Madara took one last deep look at Hashirama, her soul ascended to heaven, and disappeared into the sky. Finally dead. Seeing Madara disappear, both the 5 shadows and the tailed beasts all breathed a sigh of relief. Madara puts too much pressure on them. Then, everyone looked at Obito again. Kakashi, Minato, Kushina have complex expressions of sadness and regret. Have nothing to say. Obito's expression was numb, and there was no look on his face. Lin was my only light. After her death, the world in my eyes changed dramatically and became a dark hell. I have traveled around the world under the name Madara, and what I have seen and heard makes me even more convinced of this. Even with Sharingan, I still can't see anything, can't find anything. I despair of this world. After being bewitched by Madara, I decided to activate Infinite Tsukuyomi and create a new world with Lin. Now even Infinite Tsukuyomi is fake, I have no nostalgia for this world at all. Obito said numbly, then raised his hands, looked at Minato and Kushina, and said slowly. Teacher, I was the one who killed you back then. I will give you my life back today. Obito, do you want to? Kakashi's pupils shrank. He sees it, and Obito plans to activate the Rinne Tensei technique, a heretic, to resurrect the teacher and Kushina. I have committed too many sins, and my hands are stained with too much blood. I have no shame to see Lin. Obito formed the seal slowly, with a dull expression. Let me atone a little and go see Lin again. You will die if you use this trick. Kakashi shouted in a low voice. You don't have to do this, you can live to pay for your sins. Yeah, Obito, you don't have to resurrect us. Minato also advised. Naruto has a way to resurrect us, you can. Kakashi, teacher, don't try to persuade me, I have no nostalgia for this world anymore. Obito shook his head. Besides, my sins are too heavy and cannot be repaid easily. Kakashi, Minato, and Kushina watched silently, their faces unable to conceal their sadness and loneliness. Obito, why did their former close friends, students, end up in this situation? Why exactly? Heterogeneous Rinne Tensei technique. As Obito performs the Rinne Tensei technique, white smoke rises from Minato and Kushina. The body filled with dust gradually turned into real flesh and blood, and the cracks on the skin surface disappeared. Impure world reincarnation's eyes also become real eyes. Minato, Kushina, completely resurrected. My life is such a failure. Obito closed his eyes. Rinne Tensei technique completely drained the few chakra in his body, and his death was inevitable. Kakashi collapsed on the ground, unable to hide his identity in his eyes. Although Obito committed a heinous crime, Kakashi could never forget his best friend. They have had many wonderful memories. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.